Name's Ryan Webster. Gary Birkinshaw's joining me.
Good morning, Ryan. Yeah, fantastic early start here today, and look, I'm looking forward to a really good game there as Josh Barty gets the first kick going forward the half-forward line. Out there quickly with them is Jackson. He's got in front of him. The ball looks close to the boundary line out there. Quick thrown in there, back there by McMahon. Goes to Mitch Knight now. Mitch Knight on the right boot, the coach of Newcastle City. You'd expect a big game there. Sam O'Brien chipping in for Terrigal, Avoca, however. Back it comes to Barty, onto Jay Lewis. A scrubby kick in there, but well taken there by Chris Bishop.
So Bishop onto that left foot immediately. He has ample time to load up. It's not a great kick, but it's going towards goal. He might have kicked it, the coach. He has. First goal of the day instantly goes to Terrigal, Avoca, courtesy of their coach, Chris Bishop. 1 goal straight. 6 leads Newcastle City yet to score. So picture perfect day here at Baddo Bay. It's a home game for Terrigal, Avoca. They've taken all before them in 2015. In all likelihood, it's looking like these two sides will probably contest the premiership come September. Should be a really good game of footy, Gary.
Yeah, good start there by Terrigal, Avoca. Chris Bishop, very inspirational leadership there, and they got the ball through the centre of the ground. He had a kick and got through. First goal on the board, so well done there. As Wheeler wins the ruck there for Newcastle City. Taken out there. Quickly, that might have been in there that time.
So umpire pays a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Blues. So a late out will be Hugh Kelleher, who would have done a lot of the ruck work today. Starting in the ruck is Mark Wheeler for the Blues. No late outs for Terrigal, Avoca, so they go in unchanged. In the middle of the ground, it looked like it might be Wilmot to take the kick. No, it won't. It'll be Mitch Knight. So Knight, the first forward thrust here for the Blues. He goes to centre half forward. Jimmy Hart, one of the best players on the ground last week in a winning side over Cardiff. Goes to centre half forward in the Richardson direction. Knight again, and away they go through Lang. So Lang goes across the goal towards Pac McMahon. He's on his right side for a left footer. Gives a little handball over the top, and they've got time here to get out Newcastle City.
There's Mitch Crawford there. He goes with a right kick in the direction there of Emerson Monk. Near the boundary line there, corralled by Jason Van Dam, the skipper for Terrigal, Avoca. And the ball goes out of bounds on the half-forward line. Newcastle City, Ryan, will be kicking with the aid of a slight breeze to the right of screen. It's that the earlier games indicated that was the scoring end, so they'll be looking to get off to a good start. As Van Dam, handball quickly over there, it goes to Ellis. Through the legs there. Might have been out there of Carroll, but picked up there by James Webster. He goes one on the right boot, looking in the direction there, going down there for is Brendan Harper. No Jono Goulet today, Ryan.
Yeah, so Jono kicked 3 goals in about 2 minutes last week in the first quarter against Cardiff. Went off the ground with a little hamstring injury. So I assume he'll probably be out for a couple more weeks. They want him cherry ripe for when finals come. So boundary throw in deep forward for Terrigal, Avoca. They've done the bulk of the attacking thus far. Richardson's on the bottom of that pack. He looks like to be wrapped up by Monk. So, yeah, been a couple of really tight games here in the lower grades early. It was a 2 or 3 point win, I believe, to Newcastle City in second division, a goal right on the siren, and then a draw in first division. So these two sides these two clubs, I should say, very evenly matched up across all 3 grades. So it's in the middle of the ground now. This is Gillingham. Bit of a mongrel-looking kick to centre half forward. Hart gets there first for the Panthers, now gathers. Got time as he runs through half-back. He goes down in the Webster direction. He's playing on Monk, and it's a good contest down there. Ball ends up going over the boundary line. So thanks to our major sponsor, Wilson Security, who is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
Out it comes there now as James Webster picks it up. It's being tagged today by Emerson Monk, so big job there for Monk. As Richardson grabs it there, he gets a handball to Pete Van Dam. On the right boot it goes, bowls everyone there, but Jay Lewis gets a quick handball. That was Harper, sorry. Back it comes there to Lang. Good quick handball. It comes there to Carroll. He takes his opponent on. Well done there. McMahon gets it back there now to Lang again. On the left boot, good pressure from the Terrigal, Avoca forwards. Goes there now to a really strong mark, taken there by Pete Van Dam, the veteran for Terrigal, Avoca. Plays on quickly, looking for Jack Grimman. Two defenders there for Newcastle City. They're able to spoil the ball as Connor Haswell gets it now, goes towards the half-forward line. Courtney Knight's his target. Luke Rawnsley down there. Up they go. Down the ball comes there. Jace Van Dam to first ever Terrigal, Avoca. He can't take the ball under pressure from Rawnsley. Picked up there by Wilmot. Back it comes to Courtney Knight. Gets there. Gets it. Probably could have been a high tackle there against Barty, but they've got the numbers there. Terrigal, Avoca. Good pressure early on as Jay Lewis picks up handballs it over the head. Back it comes to Damon Smith. He's there. Rawnsley's got his head over the ball. Jay Lewis again. Good pressure early on as Gillingham smothers that one. But Pete Van Dam says, let's get the ball out of there, and he hurries it on the boot, out of bounds, half-forward flank, Newcastle City's end of the ground.
Great game of footy, this one. 4.5 minutes in first quarter, as you'd expect. Probably the two sides I mentioned earlier that will contest a premiership looking at current form, and as you'd expect, no love lost and a really good, aggressive game of footy early on here at Baddo Bay. So throw in just about on centre wing. Down there's Crawford, good little give to Mitch Knight, little drop punt kick. And unmarked there might be Wilmot. It is. He kicks to full forward. Mark, play on. Crawford ends up the beneficiary, kicks the first goal of the day for Newcastle City. So the Blues are on the board, courtesy of Jackson Crawford. That one brought to you there by Prime 7, who has more footy on more nights live and free. Their coverage includes 4 games every round on 7 Mate, including the marquee Friday and Saturday night matches. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Yeah, good play there by Newcastle City. They're able to bring the ball down that far side of the ground. And one thing we're looking at today is it's just their willingness to get the ball moving, to keep on. Andrew Wilmot had the chance to go back and have a shot, but he wanted to play on quickly, and it was a good mark by Dempsey down there. Quick handball off, and a good reply there by Jackson Crawford. And look, a lot of people are talking these two sides are guaranteed top 2 spots, second semi-final. We don't want to give too much away. But the thing is that the rivalry between these two sides in recent years has just been such that every time they come out, they want to win the game. So out it comes in, and Newcastle City are going to go forward again through Baker. A little hurried little left foot kick, goes to the centre of the boundary line. Probably could have been deliberately out of bounds, as was the call from the Terrigal Avoca bench. But umpire Stephen Bloom says no, we'll have a boundary throw-in.
So boundary throw-in now, centre wing again. Tight and tough early. Good tackle there laid by Bishop. I'm not sure who that was on. It might have been Haswell.
Yep.
And we'll have a secondary ball up. So probably both teams slightly undermanned. Both coaches would hope to have a couple more players in when the finals do swing around. They're without Scene and Payne, Newcastle City. Obviously Goulet, Flint as well, who's certainly in their best 22, as well as Corbin Bond. So a couple of players to come back in, but certainly 2 really strong sides here on the paddock. It's going to come back, I think it's a free kick to Bishop, maybe?
No, it's Harper, I think, Ryan.
Harper, the ruckman.
Yeah, you're right. They're both sides. They've got players to come back, and also for City, they're missing their twin towers indoors and also Keith. So they're obviously a couple there, and that's one area you would think that maybe if they're in form, that they could probably get over the top of Terrigal Avoca. Yeah. But it's Harper now. He goes in forward with the right boot, going there looking for Billings. He's there. Up against him is Carroll. Coming there quickly there. Jackson Thornby back. It comes there now to Billings on the ground. In the back there. No, going to have a ball up.
Secondary ball up. Owen Geard in the 27 comes into the side for the Blues. As mentioned earlier, Hugh Kelleher goes out. Liam Dwyer in the 56 gets another chance after a terrific performance in his debut last week against Nelson Bay. Eventually ends up in the hands of Alexander White. He kicks it to full forward with a snap kick. It's a one-on-one contest down there. Gillingham up against Richardson. Alistair Richardson winning the best on ground Subway Morisset voucher last week in a big win over Cardiff. So straight away we get to see the Terrigal zone here. Always a good battle with the kick-outs between these two sides. So Newcastle City with a huddle in the middle of the ground. They'll most likely go... They're going to go straight up the middle. So straight up the middle of the ground, Jason Van Dam's got his name written all over it. Misreads it there, Van Dam. Jack Gillingham couldn't take the mark. Eventually ends up with Gibson, Crawford, the goal kicker, and away they go through Wheeler, Newcastle City. Not a great kick forward. Jimmy Hart playing in front there of Courtney Knight. He's done that a few times already. Kicks out now through centre half back to Sarich, and Sarich takes a mark there, half back flank for Terrigal Avoca. So 8 minutes played here, just 1 point the margin in favour of the Panthers. Gav Kirkman streaming through the middle of the ground. Has a bounce, does Kirkman. He's tackled now, nearly holding the ball. Did he drop it? He did. Holding the ball. It's going to be a kick to...
Jackson Monk.
Comes out there now, picked up there. Oh, by Smith, he's dispossessed. Could have been holding the ball. Josh Polgrave gets it, goes over his head there. But going in there hard there was Dempsey for Newcastle City. Bit of a scramble there. 30 metres out from goal. Just one thing, that last bit of play there, Mark Wheeler coming through, good work. Just got to make sure that hits the target. James Hart was 10 metres in front of Courtney Knight, so he had to really hit the target there. And he's got to make their forward movement has got to be more accountable, so that Hart's got to stay closer to Courtney Knight.
Yeah, good call. They've had a few great battles, Hart and Knight. Probably the most famous one being when Courtney Knight won the Gary McBain medal, I think in 2013. He kicked 8 goals in that particular occasion. So it's a holding the ball decision here going the way of the Blues. Panther players not happy. It's going to be Haswell to take the kick.
Yeah, he got him for not disposing of the ball correctly. So might be a bit tough, but Lachlan Head, the umpire, first game back, grand final umpire last year, is now umpiring in Sydney, so he's coming back here, which is good to see. That's Haswell. 30 metres out, directly in front. Pulls the ball to the left. I'm not sure he scored. He probably... goal umpire, boundary umpire debating, and out of bounds on the full.
So the quick kick in there, I think it was intended for Jay Lewis. It ended up in the hands of Billings. They're going to take it back here. I don't think the umpire had signalled, Gary.
No, it was out of bounds on the full, so they took it as a point, but no, out of bounds on the full. So they've got to go back and take it as Barty. Terrigal Avoca. Where's he going to go? Go to the far side of the ground. Looks in short there. Billings comes out, but it's going to fall in there. I think that's falling in there for Mark Wheeler.
Mark Wheeler filling the ruck duties today
Big
with
job.
Keys, Dawes, and also Kelleher out of the ground, out of the team.
Going up against Darling, Harper, Pete Van Dam. He's going to have to do the majority of the ruck work, you'd imagine. So Wheeler now, he'll kick from the best part of 50 metres. Goes back, giving all the indications. He just going to drop just short. Big contest of players down here. Was it touched? It was. So behind there, 7 apiece at Baddo Bay. It's a home game for Terrigal Avoca.
And ground's in really good nick, very dry as, very fast ground. It's a smallish ground.
Takes a fair bit of rain to upset the sand track of Baddo Bay. So Jay Lewis will do the kicking in duties. Playing on a half-back flank this year, having a good year again is Lewis. Goes out wide there. Newcastle City doing well, just building that wall across half-back. Terrigal just struggling to get through it at this particular stage. So it's on centre wing. I don't know if that's travelled the full 15 metres. It'll be play on anyway. Eventually taken over the line there by Alex Mitchell. So, yeah, we mentioned it, Gary. It's looking like these two sides, they've got the most depth, really well led by their coaches and leaders. And you'd assume one of them to go the distance in 2015.
Yeah, he'll take Killarney Vale, probably realistically the only side with a chance. But I'm not sure that they're at that next level. They'll have to raise their game probably about another 20-25% where they are now to match these two sides. And
really good numbers here today as well. Good support for both sides.
Yep. Good
place to watch and also play footy. So another free kick here, this time going
Alex
to
Mitchell. So the interrupted season, joined the club from Singleton this year. Played really well early and then had a knee injury, so he's just slowly getting back into some decent form. First game back in senior footy for a couple of weeks. He goes in there looking for Knight, but he's got numbers all over in there in Harper and also Hart. It gets out the back there to Gillingham, however. That's Pat Gillingham. Handball's off the Rawnsley. Goes left foot banana kick. He misses to the short side. Rawnsley playing up forward today, Ryan?
Yeah, good player, Rawnsley. We more commonly see him across half-back. He's the general back there, but I suppose Baker in recent weeks has been getting plenty of possessions and really commanding the troops back there. So interesting ploy there. That's a kicking from Barty. It misses Pete Van Dam. Just got fingertips to it, so it'll be a boundary throw in, forward pocket for the Blues.
Yeah, I think Baker's been back. I think Jack Gillingham's one who's also filled that role that Luke Rawnsley. He's had also a very injury interrupted season with hamstring injury, so he's working his way in, and there's a couple of vacancies up forward, so he's filling that, and he gets tackled immediately there. And umpire calls for a ball up. Coach Chris Bishop not happy with that decision, but I think it was a pretty right one.
Yeah, having another good year is Bishop, chipping in with a few goals last week. So deep forward here for Newcastle City. You'd expect it's tight and it's tough. Little scrubby kicks only going to go as far as Dwyer, in a best on ground performance last week, Dwyer. Yeah. Out on centre wing, eventually ends up in the hands there of Aidan Warren. So Warren to centre half forward. He's going for Angus Darling, who's playing half forward at the moment while Harper does the ruck work. He's going to kick it inside here for Richardson, who's a left footer and a really good user of it. Very reliable. Stays on his feet on that occasion. It was a good tackle there from Crawford. Ball sort of bouncing around again. Ends up with Warren, and Jason Van Dam just throws it on the left boot towards full forward. Good contest there given by Jacob Jackson, but it's great work by Riley Lang, just keeping the ball in front of him. Jackson will get there first for the Panthers. Gets bumped over the line. It'll be a boundary throw in. Nearly 14 minutes played here, Baddo Bay Oval.
Have you seen Angus Darling's return, Ryan? He missed a couple of years of fantastic champion of this league, the dual Elliot Davey medal winner, out of the game for 2 years, slowly making his way back. How you found him? You did last week. You've done a couple of their games.
Yeah, I think he'd be the first to admit he's certainly not fit, or at the fittest he's certainly been. He's a good enough tap ruckman and contested grab around the ground to be in the best 22 for Terrigal. As you could just see there, as he taps down to Bishop.
There.
So free kick there. He might have been holding on too long. I'm not sure if it's going to go the way of Terrigal at will to Bishop. So getting a tag again today just shows the respect that he gets from all other clubs in the league. Chris Bishop now, 33 years of age. Aging like a fine wine. So a very reliable shot for goal is Bishop.
Kicked the first goal, Ryan, for the game. He kicked Terrigal's only goal. So you'll be looking for goal number 2. His trusty left boot, 30 metres out. Gee, I put the mock on there. That wasn't very trusty, that left boot there. Twist to the left.
Uncharacteristic. Poor ball drop there from Chris. So very even contest as you'd expect, Gary.
Yeah, scores will have 1-2-8 apiece. We've been playing 14 minutes in the first quarter, but keeping in mind Newcastle City kicking to the what has been the scoring end as Richardson left foot goes deep in there, out there looking for Pete Van Dam. He takes the mark, plays on. Pete Van Dam, the veteran, he doesn't miss from there, and that's goal number 2 for Terrigal Avoca.
Great goal, Pete Van Dam. It was a turnover from fullback there. I think it was Lang doing the kicking in, Gary?
Yes, it was Lang, yes.
Turned over, hit Alistair Richardson on the chest, who unfortunately plays for Terrigal Avoca for them. And just free numbers everywhere. Pete Van Dam, classy in front of goal. Kicks the second goal of the day for Terrigal Avoca. They're 2-2-14, leading Newcastle City 1-2-8.
Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports the Black Diamond AFL. Been a long-time sponsor, Star 104. They're going to have their Roadstar vehicle here today. So anyone who's nearby, pop on down and hopefully they look after the commentators. That's for sure.
Beautiful day to play footy. Absolutely perfect conditions. A slight breeze, as mentioned there by Gary earlier. So little chip pass there came from Dempsey. Mitch Knight wheels around into full forward. He goes for his... Oh, Knight! What a leap. Jason Van Dam, gee whiz. It was exciting. You don't see that too often in the Black Diamond League. Damon Smith there. Kick was smothered. Still forward 50 here for the Blues. Handballs going around everywhere. Sam O'Brien might take it over the boundary line, and he does. Could you imagine if he grabbed that?
Oh, that was a huge leap. I think that was Courtney Knight there. James Hart plays him really well, plays him in front. So I think that's Courtney Knight saying, if you're going to stand 10 metres in front of me, I'm going to be trying to sit on your head all day.
I love it. It's going to be a great battle. Can't wait to see him today and for the rest of the season as well. So ball up there, half-back flank for the Panthers in their white. I call it the Real Madrid strip, designed by Maury Goolagong. It's got the Aboriginal theme. The boys love it. And it's a class jersey as well, so it makes it easier for us. Could have been high there on the Newcastle player.
Might have been Crawford.
So Crawford at the bottom of the pack gets up. Congested forward line. You can see Jason Van Dam, Jay Lewis dropping back. Knight leads now. They're going to go for Knight. Another great contest there. Well done to Hart, getting the fist in. Eventually ends up in the hands of O'Brien. Bishop again. Left foot doesn't have much time, and away they go through Peter Van Dam. Jack Grimmon's on a wing, and now Barty. So Barty's got pace, and he's a beautiful kick of the footy. On that occasion, he was just pressured there. Down there's Emerson Monk. Little handball back is to Lang, I believe, and the Blues reset.
Yeah, 2-on-1 coming out here, though. Jay Lewis there up against Jackson Monk. He's got some work to do. Well done, Jackson Monk. 2-on-1 help comes to give him a hand. He's going to be rewarded with a free kick to Jackson Monk. Good work by the highly talented midfielder for Newcastle City.
That free kick there paid by the umpire in the forward 50 for Newcastle. Umpires today, Jake Bateman, Lockie Head, Stephen Bloom.
As it goes now to O'Malley. O'Malley still on centre wing there. Haswell gives him a lead. He honours that. Bishop's coming in quickly there. It's going to go over Haswell's head. So Bishop's got up at the boundary line. He's too close. We're going to have a boundary throw in.
Straight away, it's great to be broadcasting a top two bonanza.
Yeah, really good contest. It's really good football. Just they really build up. Sometimes some of their games, well, the average winning margin for Terrigal Avoca this year is 85 points. So they'll be looking for a fierce contest as well. As that was dropped, Mark there was dropped out there by Gear on debut. Curry kick out there now, goes to Gillingham. Handball the back, it comes to Baker. Baker on the half-forward line, swings it in there, but Jay Lewis for Terrigal Avoca just fills the hole and takes a mark. Plays on quickly. Nice kick there in the Pete Van Dam direction.
Great
kick.
Kick
Goes up and can't spoil him, so Van Dam. Last goal kick for Terrigal Avoca. Handball's inboard now to Jack Grimmon, the youngster. A floating kick forward though, and Pat McMahon started the game very well. Alistair Richardson not happy with that disposal, and nor should him. It was a pretty ordinary kick there by Jack. As it comes down, good mark taken there by Sam Ellis. 2 against 1 there, and Ellis gets there and takes the mark. He looks for handball it off. He does unable to do that. So he goes in short there. Angus Darling, good chipping in there was Jack Gillingham. Punches it away. Baker overruns it. It's going to fall nicely there for Mitchell. Back it comes to Jack Gillingham. He's going to come out to the broadcast side. Switches it out there to Mitch Crawford. Once again, Haswell's been very prominent early, and he's going to take the mark. Half-back flank. He can go on. Pat Gillingham's going to give a target. Rawnsley also in close, but Haswell's going to go longer. Looking in there for Crawford. He can't take the mark in front of the pressure from Lewis. Over the back it goes to Mitch Crawford. He's got O'Malley running by. He gets it on the right boot. Chips in for Courtney Knight, and he's got a good play by the Blues.
Yeah, really good build-up. They switched it across full-back. It's what good sides do. Haswell, they were out, and just really clever play. That's something they'd be doing at training.
Full credit there to Connor Haswell, though. He had a couple of leads with little dinky 15, 20-metre passes, but he was able to go longer to Jackson Crawford. The ball got over the back, and they were able to run on it. And Courtney Knight, in front of the Terrigal Avoca cheer squad, off the boot, looks pretty good. And the league's prominent goal kicker is on the board for his first today.
Really good game of footy this, 14 apiece at Baddo Bay Oval. Great ball movement. It's an even contest at the moment. Like, Terrigal used it well out the other side of the ground, but the switch was on. They used it perfectly, and it eventually ends up in the hands of Courtney Knight because of quick play. You know, Terrigal didn't have the amount of time to flood the numbers back, which meant more space for Knight, which is exactly what they're after.
One thing I think you look at there, right, from so far we've only been playing 20 minutes in the first quarter, but Newcastle City's defence look very well organised, very well structured, and they're definitely in top of the Terrigal Avoca forwards, who are obviously missing John O'Gula, who's been their prominent target going forward. So that's a job for Chris Bishop to be able to get his players to lower their eyes and look for that alternate target.
It's going to be a holding the ball decision here going the way of Ellis. Eventually ends up in the hands of Webster. He goes to centre half forward and Richardson. Chopping back there, doing really well was Wilmot. So they Newcastle City out on the far wing. Peter Van Dam up against Monk. Good tackle there laid by Monk. Van Dam just dropped it. Wasn't in the tackle. Boundary throw in centre wing.
Yeah, been very prominent early, Pete Van Dam. He's probably been as prominent as he's been all year, I reckon, at the start. He kicked the goal, but working both ends of the ground, which will please not only him, but also his coach, Chris Bishop. Over the back it comes there. Mitch Knight can't take it. Ellis is there doing the ruckman, doing the work on the ground, which is good to see. O'Malley picks the ball up now. Handballs it off to Mitchell. On the left boot he goes. At the back of the power pack, Gilliam. That's a nice mark.
Fantastic grab there up against Jason Van Dam. I tell you what, there are too many guys harder to match up against than Jason Van Dam. It was a very strong mark there to Gillingham. Both Gillingham boys, very strong overhead marks, Gary.
They certainly are. And Pat Gilliam, he's had a great year as well.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And across half forward, he's become that pivotal target around centre half forward. So here we go back there. We look to get a good little advantage here for Newcastle City. It's on the boot. It comes, looks good. You can see the Wilson security logo on the ball, but it just veers a little bit off to the left.
Got good eyes, Gaz.
Oh, I can tell. I just saw Wilson security was just jumping out of it. And why wouldn't they jump out, being our major sponsor, and they're great supporters of the Black Diamond AFL. So.
Absolutely. So the way they go, the Panthers now kick in through Jay Lewis. It's a perfect kick. Peter Van Dam, that man again, he's had a bit of the footy early, including a goal. So Van Dam off one step, goes to centre wing in the white direction. Couldn't hold the mark there, Alexander Wright. Baker kept his feet. Ball went out of play, boundary throw in. BLK is the official apparel supplier to the Tigers. That's the Richmond Tigers, the Western Bulldogs, the GWS Giants and the Adelaide Crows. And they're also the official on-field supplier of the Black Diamond League. That's a strong tackle in the middle of the ground there on Wheeler. Umpire's going to ping for holding the ball. He did take them on. He was quick with the whistle, but I think that's a good decision. Looks like it's going to be Bishop, who started pretty well, also wearing a tag today. So
unusual for Chris Bishop to be on the bottom of the pack, mate. Loves it there. Loves it. As Lewis now on the right, he goes into attack. Who's there looking there for Jackson? A great lead as well.
He's going to have to
really
play
good,
that position that Goulet plays so well for the Panthers. Leading the goal kicking this year is John O'Goulet. They need someone to step up today. Looking at the forward line at the moment, they've got Darling, Harper, Richardson and Jackson, but none of those guys with a great deal of senior experience under their belt, certainly not in this league.
Yeah, Richardson's got a fair bit of experience though, so... But anyway, good to see Jackson come. He's hit by that's gone right out right. So, out of bounds the full. So, poor finish there by Jackson, but very, very good lead and a good mark. So, if he can keep doing that all day, his kicking will come and then so will the goals, hopefully, for the Panthers. But 1 point, the difference at the moment, Newcastle City were in time on in the first quarter as Baker goes in short there to Carroll.
So, Carroll's got it back pocket here for the Blues. We're into time on. Carroll's going to go up the line. We've seen a lot of the footy played on that far side. Just chipping in there, reading the ball perfectly was that man, once again, Peter Van Dam. Certainly one of the most damaging players early on in this match. He just kicks it long. Alistair Richardson gets a run at it. Has a good lead, Richardson. Good contest, though, and away they go. Just a little bit fumbly there. Ends up in the hands of Formby for the Panthers. Jackson went for the tap over the head to no one in particular. Does well to get it again, does Jackson. Off to Aidan Warren. Goal of the week last week. He kicks that one, Warren. Excellent goal. Terrigal, Avoca, the first one for Warren.
Yeah, really good play there by Aidan Warren. He actually rode the pack. There's a big pack of players, good pressure ones get hit the ground. He was on the opportunist as he was, and a great conversion there. And Terrigal Avoca now got a 5-point lead.
Could be an early contender for the Dusthound Hound Player of the Day, but he got it last week, Gary.
Oh, we can't double up, can we? Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. The Herald's reporting and commentary leads public debate in the region, and its coverage of local issues from business and politics through to sport and entertainment is second to none. The Newcastle Herald, the voice of the hunter in print, online and mobile.
So, ball up in the middle again. Goal there to Terrigal Avoca. Ellis up against Wheeler. Bishop's getting busy as well. Little handball there out to Webster. He might get a free kick for a hold too long. Advantage won't be paid. So, Bishop stamping his authority on this match as well. He's been everywhere early. They've got Kirkman out here on the wing on his own. Kirkman not calling for it. You can see the Terrigal players. They're well drilled. They know to lead and then get out of the hole. Ends up in the hands of Jay Lewis. He puts his head down and kicks long towards Jackson. It's going to go... I think it bounced before it hit the point post. It did. It'll be a boundary throw in deep forward for Terrigal.
He's also had a good start, Jay Lewis. If he gets his hand on the ball, Terrigal Avoca are very dangerous because he uses the ball so well across half back.
He's a confidence player, Toppy Lewis. If he has a good first and second quarter, he generally runs out the game really well. Certainly a confidence player in every way of the expression. So eventually Crawford just kicks it into the middle of the ground. Jason Van Dam read it the best off the boot and takes the grab here in the middle. So the left footer Inspirational skipper. Good-looking drop punt, that one. And Jacob Jackson,
Well done,
marking
Jackson.
uncontested. Strong lead.
Yeah, good work by Jackson. We just spoke about him not 2 minutes ago. And there he was, once again, presenting up forward. And good work there as he handballs it off to Webster. Webster goes for goal. And he misses out to the right.
Got to be careful of that one. They'll give it to him every day of the week, the Panther half forwards.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, very good user of the footy. And having another good year's, Jim.
The reigning two-time Elliot Davey medal winner, no doubt he'll be going for the rare three-peat, and his form's been good enough to certainly have him in contention as a short kick comes out there. Jackson just dropped the mark. It allows Newcastle City to get out of jail there as Wilmot as the siren sounds to signal the end of the first quarter here at Baddo Bay Sporting Facility. And it's Terrigal Avoca, 3-3-21, leading Newcastle City 2-3-13.
Yeah, really good start here. Just looking at the goal kickers. Single goal kickers to Terrigal Avoca. It's one to Peter Van Dam, one to Aidan Warren, one also to Chris Bishop. For Newcastle City, just the 2 goals. One goes to Courtney Knight, the gun forward, and also Jackson Crawford. Really good game of footy, end to end. A lot of stoppages, a lot of tackling pressure, pretty much as we'd expected, Gary.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think it's a real, the first fist down to the coach in Mitchell Knight. He's on the right, but he goes in there short, but good pressure there coming from Sam O'Brien. Forces the ball off the boot of Mitchell Knight, out of bounds on the fort, and the relieving free kick is going to go down the back. There's probably Sarich. Now looking for Bishop.
So Bishop has the ball at fullback. Uncharacteristic poor kick. Webster was good enough to gather. Has enough time. Pendlebury-esque. Back to Bishop. This time does he use it properly? He does. It's a perfect kick. Corey Billins, the young midfielder. Going in leaps and bounds every season. So Billins goes to centre half forward. He's going to kick for Angus Darling. Playing down there on Lang, but McMahon just peeling off his opponent.
Yeah, good
boundary throw. And I think both coaches, they measure, at the very least, the tackling pressure and the enthusiasm of both sides, and they're on. Both teams are on, so it's good to see.
Yeah, it's a good measure, the tackling, because no matter how skilled you are, what sort of game you're having, tackling's all about attitude. Yeah. And if you get your tackling number up, your attitude's right, and that really then, you're helping the side even if you're not getting the ball yourself. There's a good tackle there is Bishop. He gets a handball taken ball by Jack Gillingham. He stands up there before handballing it off to Baker. Up he goes there, Baker, good mark.
Sarich.
Good mark taken there by Sarich.
So Brendan Sarich in his first year as senior field, he just chips the ball over to Billins. Really good grab there. That'll be great for his confidence. Billins a left footer. Goes for the chip pass once again for Jackson. And early on last week against Cardiff, it let them down a little bit, Terrigal Avoca. Obviously they had the class to still beat Cardiff on the ground. But against Newcastle City, they want to get that delivery on. Jason Van Dam, more commonly seen on the half back line. Playing on a forward flank at the minute.
Oh, mate, kicked the goal last week, so he reckons it's easy, this forward bit, so he wants to get up there and play as a handball. Back it comes to Gear, back to Mitchell on the right boot he goes. He sits it up there. Rawnsley out there also with Smith, and a good mark taken by Rawnsley. Good use of the body.
So Rawnsley wheels around on the left side. Went for the middle, went for the corridor as the good teams do. The kick wasn't good enough on that occasion. Hart blistering out of centre half back. Goes to full forward. Darling on Lang. Well done, Lang. Took the front spot. Baker roved it really well and just backs himself. Gets on his left side. Goes out for McMahon. It's a great kick. Drops one he probably should have taken there, McMahon. Van Dam's competitive, but went to ground. McMahon didn't. Gets on his left foot. A clever grubber kick for Hartikanen. Gathers there. Double backs on Sam Ellis, the ruckman. Evades the tackle. Now gives a handball into Gillingham, and they're away through Baker. So Baker on his left side, chips over the top. It's a good kick, that one, for Wilmot. Just went over his head. Could have been held, and he was. Advantage is paid. So away goes Haswell. He just kicks it into full forward down there. It's Dempsey up against Polglaze. Ball goes through for a behind. Really good passage of play there.
Yeah, gee, their transition play's been pretty good today, Newcastle City. They used the ball really well. In tight contest out here, and Baker, he's had a really good year. He's a Team of the Year member last year, but I reckon he's taken his game to another level. And
Super consistent.
Yeah, and I think he's always been super fit. His running's never been down, but I think he's improved his skill level this year, and and that certainly makes Newcastle City more potent from half back.
So a little chip pass there came from Damon Smith. Gavin Kirkman on his left side. Pete Van Dam's unmanned here on the wing. Gives it off to Billins, who's getting busy in the second term. It's a mongrel left foot kick. If he's got a weakness, that's probably it. Webster's resting at full forward. Well done there to Monk. Just came out with the left foot kicks into the middle of the ground for Wilmot. Did well, Wilmot, but eventually went to ground. Kirkman's in there, as is Bishop. Be one of the busier players on the ground as Bishop. Brendan Harper, the ruckman. Well done there to Mitchell. Rawnsley was in the back, no on Barty. Play on's the call. So away they go. Jason Van Dam just throws it on the left boot as he always does. Jack Gillingham, centre half back for the Blues.
Yeah, it's a bit windier out there than what we obviously see. Some kicks aren't going to where they should be going. And, really, in these conditions with a bit of wind around, it really shows your kicking skills up. If you don't drop the ball properly on your boot, you're going to be showing up today.
Yeah, spot on. So Gillingham now, half-forward flank for the Blues. Kicks it into full forward, going for Mitchell. It's a 3-on-1. They've got numbers over the back of the Blues. It eventually ends up with Haswell. Now Crawford, goal kicker from the first term. Out on the full.
Yeah, once again, getting the ball. Plenty of inside 50s for Newcastle City, and that'll be pleasing their coach, Mitch Knight, if they can just improve their conversion a little bit. But they're certainly matching them. And the defence is certainly on top. That'd be one thing. And really missing Goulet. They've got Webster now sitting at full forward. They've got a bit of an open forward line, so they're just trying to create a bit of space inside forward 50. But Newcastle City have certainly been able to cover any forays that Terrigal Avoca have had so far.
So a little chip pass there, G. Had to be a good kick, and it was. Alistair Richardson, the quarterback. He goes for Harper. Just playing tempo footy. And the outlet kick to Van Dam. Oh, play on did Peter Van Dam. He's going to go now out for the wing. Elects to go into the middle of the ground for his brother, Jason. He's outnumbered. Did well to create a contest, though, Jason Van Dam. Inboard to Richardson. Eventually ends up in the hands of Mark Wheeler, who couldn't take clean possession. Was a little bit fumbly. Strong tackle there by Jason Van Dam. He won't shake him off. And a ball up, it'll be in the middle of the ground. Two competitive Warriors there going at it, Gary.
Yeah, you fumble. Just a slight little bobble of the ball from Mark Wheeler, and they just descended upon him, and Jason Van Dam was not going to let him go. It goes in there now. Well done by Mitch Knight. He gets brushes the tackler, Jack Grimman. Knight on the right boot, looking in there, going out there for Dempsey. Good battle there with Polglaze. James Hart has been very good with his offensive play. Back it comes to Polglaze again. Handballs off on the running play there through Smith. Damon Smith on the right, but goes for Jack Grimman, but Baker, we spoke about him a minute ago.
Reliable.
Good play, and he's just taken a one-handed mark. Said about his skill level, I'm not sure that was his best kick, but it does find its mark through Mitch Knight, who's been very good, the coach of Newcastle City. So Knight looking to centre half for the direction there, going in there for Crawford, up against Lewis. Keeps his feet, Crawford, and then gets a quick forward to Haswell. Up against, that time down there was Smith, picked up by Polgrave, and away they go again through Smith.
Yeah, the stingy Terrigal back line. You can see them coming to the fore now. They're working well. Gribben's out there in the 2-on-1. Mitch Knight, little handball over the top, I believe went to Jackson Monk. So he kicks into full forward. They look good here, Newcastle City. More or less uncontested over the back was Haswell. And the Terrigal players there not getting back in time. They'll have a shot on goal.
I think it'd be fair to say, Ryan, at the moment, Newcastle City are probably playing the better football. I reckon their defence is on top. I think their transition play is really good. They're forcing Terrigal Avoca into some uncharacteristic skill errors, and that can come about because they haven't really been tested, Terrigal Avoca.
Yeah, and they're shutting down some of their good players as well. Certainly not having the impact that they've had in previous weeks against some of the lesser sides. I know Bishop's been busy early, but he's getting a hard tag. Sam O'Brien's been hardly sighted, as is Webster. So certainly up for the challenge. That's a putrid kick in from Jay Lewis. It floats into the chest of Sam O'Brien, but dropped it. Alex Mitchell tried to break a tackle. Eventually, snap kicked forward to Hart. So James Hart, under a bit of pressure here, the Panthers. Newcastle City certainly coming. They go for the 7-foot giant in Angus Darling. Was surely held. Doesn't get too many free kicks, does Gus. He'll be the first one to tell you. Eventually ends up in the hands of Bishop, and he's a good user of the foot. He gives it to White in space. A good man to kick it to in space. Wheels around onto his right peg and goes for Sam Ellis. This is a good contest. Floats over the back. Who'll get there first? It'll be Formby for the Panthers. Little handball to Jackson. Has enough time. Right foot drop punt. Great goal, Terrigal Avoca. Jacob Jackson. It was well worked through the better players. Wheeling around was Alexander White. It was a good contest from Sam Ellis. And the big man stepping up into the centre-half forward position was Jacob Jackson with his goal.
I think the impressive part of that, and that's probably nearly their best passage of play, but I liked in that was it was their unsung players, their lesser-known players. It was Alexander White, it was Ethan Thornby there. It was also down there to Jacob Johnson. They were able to get the ball from centre forward and be able to create a good scoring opportunity. And like all good sides do, when you get those opportunities, you capitalise.
Yeah, absolutely. Some class players in the middle of the ground for both sides at the minute. Ended up in the hands of Webster. Went to his right foot. Usually a good user. He's on this occasion. Ethan Formby. Just given a bit too much space there was Webster. It was a good tap, though, from Harper. And I dare say, knowing Ethan, he's probably a bit too far out to score.
Yeah, they haven't kicked from very, very far from out there.
So he's going to chip. He does. Lowers the Angus Darling. Terrific pass there from the young man. Chris Bishop would love that. He's going to come from the ground. Looks like a little bit hobbly. Might be an ankle. But Angus Darling, the decorated Black Diamond footballer, previous Elliot Davey medal winner, premiership player as well, will kick from 40 metres, Gary.
Yeah. He's going to come in. Oh, it's just as he pushed it across, he has just pushed it out to the right for one behind to Terrigal Avoca.
So a slim 5-point lead. This game's certainly on an even keel. You feel like no side's going to let the pressure up. Who's going to have the more avenues to goal? So Newcastle City once again starting all players in the middle of the ground. They lead to various parts. Riley Lang's got the footy. They're going to go up the guts again. It's a long kick. They've got the numbers probably, Newcastle City, but a great grab. Jay Lewis, certainly been one of the better players on the ground so far in this first half. Yeah. Goes down there for Kirkman and Webster over the back uncontested. And this bloke doesn't pass the footy too much, let me assure you, when he's within 60 metres of goal, the reigning Elliot Davey medalist.
Just turned his back and said, I've got this one. Great play by Jay Lewis. If that ball had got over the back, Newcastle City had players running forward of the ball, took the mark, and we spoke about him before. Fantastic user of the football, as is this man here. And James Webster comes in. Yeah, pushes it out to the right.
That will give him the heebie-jeebies, let me tell you.
I think his brother may need to give him a few kicking lessons. I believe snagged a goal himself in the second division game. Didn't help him get over the line.
That one?
That part was, yes. But, mate, you probably talked through how come you just couldn't get over the line, mate.
Yeah, no good. Anyway, Gillingham kicking in from fullback. They go out to the far flank on this occasion. Pete Van Dam just over in it a little bit. The goal kicker, Jacob Jackson. Webster getting busy. Little snap kick. It's a good one. They're out here, Terrigal Avoca. They've got an acre. So Richardson will get there first. He's going to be on his wrong side. Oh, just had the ball sort of knocked out of his hands there. They've got the numbers, though, so it ends up with Damon Smith. Just sort of walks around. He never works a sweat, Damon Smith. That's not much of a kick. Didn't have much penetration. Aidan Warren down there against Dempsey. No, I beg your pardon. In the 56, it's Liam Dwyer. Boundary throw in, half-forward flank, Terrigal.
Quite interesting there is just a lack of knowledge, I suppose, of the kicking bit of your teammate there. As Sam O'Brien was there running alongside Alistair Richards, a left foot, and he wanted to go out onto his left boot, but Sam O'Brien was running his line, so then it falls out. Harper gets it there for Terrigal Avoca. He goes in short looking for Webster. This time he plays on. The set shot wasn't very good. I'm going to do it on the run this time, and don't worry about this. I'll miss to the left and the right. Through for another behind, though.
A little bit of space. He'll be hungry to add to his goal-kicking tally. I think he's number 4 in the league. That's what he keeps telling me.
Be disappointed with that, though. He's the ultimate professional. He's Jimmy Webster, fantastic footballer. And they've got this tendency at the moment, Terrigal Avoca. They're just wasting a few opportunities. It's their turn. That's what we found so far in this game. Each side has their turn. It's about making the most of your opportunity when you have control of the game.
So Mitch Knight, the coach, a little bit to think about at half-time. Jacob Jackson just going back with the flight. They force a draw, boundary throw in. But I think he'll be pretty pleased with his troops, Mitch Knight. As we mentioned, the enthusiasm, the tackling pressure's up. They're not too Knight-focused, I guess, Gary. You know, they've got Gillingham up there as well, but that can often be the case. As we look down now, they're one out him and Hart.
I don't think they've really had the opportunity. I don't think they've been that deep into a tackle. A lot of their goals have come from sort of 20, 25 metres out. They haven't got the ball deep into tonight, but he's kicked 2 goals, so he certainly made the most of his opportunity. If he can kick 5 goals for the game, I think he'd be pretty happy with that, and so would Newcastle City. Whether they can find the other goal kickers around him as Barty goes in short there now. Well taken by Haswell. He's been good. Back it comes to Rawnsley. Tackled immediately as it goes back to Geared on debut. He handballs it to Rawnsley. Going there now is Jackson Monk. He arches the back, gets away from Barty. He goes in short there. Just misses Knight. Gee, that was close there, but coming back is Pete Van Dam. He gets a hurried, scrubby old left foot kick. Rawnsley sits underneath as Jack Grimman comes in and forces the ball. He's going to get a free kick for high tackle. However, and Rawnsley will want to get going quickly. He goes in there looking there as Jackson Crawford. In front there was Lewis again. Crawford forced to punch away. Barty goes one way.
On the ball.
He should be holding the ball. Gee, lucky to get away with that. There's a snap there by Gillingham. He was very, very lucky to get away with that, was Josh Barty. He went one way, went the other, and then was tackled. I'm not sure he dispossessed with that correctly.
No, certainly from here it looked like he had prior opportunity, basically. So Lewis is going to go for his mate Webster. He's got a few to beat here. Usually a pretty good mark. He was held. No, play on the call. Play on here, so ends up in the hands of Dempsey. And it will be a ball up, half forward flank for Newcastle.
Good work by Dempsey then to come in to make it contest. Webster looked like he had that mark. As Harper now taps it down. Well done by O'Malley. He kicks it across there, going in that direction. Their 2 youngsters going at it. Out there was Grimman. I think it was also there was Dwyer. That comes down there now is Gillingham. We're going to have a ball up.
Just both good one-on-one battles all over the ground. It's good to see, the best players in the league matching up against other great players from the opposing side.
Oh, it isn't. There's plenty of talent out here. The representative side had a fantastic win early in the year against the New South Wales ACT under-22s, and these two sides provided 16 of the players. So they are the best players in the league. As Pete Van Dam, he was one of those players. He dispossessed O'Malley then, and he gets a left foot kick, but it's going to fall for Wilmot. He'll go back there to Jack Gillingham. He'll go on board to McMahon. Handball, good use of the ball there as Wilmot. He's fends off, high fend off there on White. Probably lucky to get away with that, but it kicks out there. Harper's in the sit there, but the ball just floats over the back. Emerson Monk, who's running with Webster today. So he's a ball out of bounds, centre wing. 18 minutes gone, second quarter, 4-6-30, Terrigal Avoca, 3-6-24, Newcastle City.
Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. They also support the Black Diamond League, as well as a number of sponsors.
They certainly do. We appreciate all our sponsors, Ryan. They do a fantastic job. Enable us to do a number of things in this league, including bring you this live broadcast, which is in our second year. We want to thank Bar TV, the best in the business, for bringing this coverage to you.
Best on ground today will win a $20 Subway Morissette voucher. And for the play of the day, the highlight of the day, if you will receive a $50 voucher to Dustwind Hound restaurant chains across Newcastle.
Do I have to do the German-Irish accent for that?
That was Andy Baldwin's stats idea.
That was, and it was not. And let me say, it was not a good idea.
Let's put that one back on the bookshelf.
Yes, as it goes there, half forward line now, Terrigal Avoca. Just the intensity is really good. You really love this intensity. The attack on the football. They really, they love playing each other. These two sides.
So ball up here. Bishop was shirt fronted, went to ground. It's going to be a foot race between Billins and it might have been. Can't say who it was there. Hartakanen. Billins got on the left foot. Snap towards goal. Was it touched? It wasn't, but it missed to the left.
The leg spin of that Shane Warren would have been proud of.
Big right to left bounce.
I think, you know what, I think some of the players are really struggling to adapt to the extra pressure that's applied today. A lot of these sides have had easy wins over lesser opposition. I think the extra pressure, I don't think they've had the time today is what they would normally do, and they're struggling to adjust to it.
Absolutely. So big kick out there goes for Haswell. Was it touched? No. It wasn't, said the boundary umpire. So it'll be a free kick here to Terrigal Avoca for a deliberate out of bounds. Damon Smith. Cat-like reflexes. Does not go to ground, Damon Smith. Kicks now towards full forward. Aidan Warren will be the target. Just worked under the footy there by Lang. Good fullback, Lang. Really like his game. He's a goalkeeper type, similar to Vukovic from Cardiff.
Yeah, well, we've got some decent fullbacks in the competition at the moment, and the forwards will certainly have to earn their goals at the moment. There's a kick there once again. The transition play by Newcastle City. Crawford can't get the Crawford brothers there. Well done, Josh Barty. Beat both Crawford brothers. Smith back it comes there now to Kirkman. Handballs it out there to Barty, but instead it's gone to the spectators in the first row.
Yeah, Batto Bay Sporting Facility here. It's a makeshift home ground for the Panthers whilst Hilton Moore is being renovated. They sure love playing here though, Terrigal Avoca. Regardless of weather, you'll always get a dry surface. So Ellis climbs up there.
They haven't had a home ground all year, so they've been very nomadic, and that's for training as well. So full credit to them to be in position through all three grades.
And they're out here, Gary. So the kick came over from Harper. Billins. Did he lower the eyes? He did. He went for wide. It was just over his head. Had more time than I think he knew. That's what happens in big pressure games. It was a clever kick from Brendan Harper.
I'm not sure that Corey Billins wouldn't have been then. He had space in front of him to get it, put the ball under the wing and go in and have a pot at goals himself. But unselfish play. I don't think Chris Bishop would be disappointed with that. But at some stage, sometimes the players have got to take it upon themselves. As Baker's tackled there immediately.
You can just tell it's got a good feel about it. All the players are getting around each other when there's a good tackle laid. You don't see that when your team goes up against one of the bottom sides.
People say, it doesn't matter whether we win it, because at the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter on the score, but it certainly matters.
Hey, Jason Van Dam kicks the goal on his right foot. It was good pressure there from the Panthers, and don't they love that? The inspirational skipper. His high five just about every bloke on the side. It was a clever goal. He just followed up his good work, threw it on the right boot. In a low-scoring game, 5-7-37, Terrigal, Newcastle City, 3-6-24.
Mercure Corinda Waters Golf and Spa Resort on the Central Coast. Relax, play or stay. Gee, we'd love to be up there having a game of golf, Ryan. I hope they're listening to this and give the Bar TV commentators a bit up there, because we could certainly relax, play and stay.
Listening. Yes, my word. Great front nine. Love the front nine up there.
22 minutes gone in the second quarter. I reckon a big 5 minutes coming up here. 13 points in favour of Terrigal Avoca.
Most definitely.
You wouldn't. Newcastle City wouldn't want them to get another goal. If they go in 20 points, they're hard to run down. As Mitch Knight gets it there, comes back to Wheeler. He's tackled immediately there by Josh Polglaze.
Well, I think for both sides, you're not guaranteed a spot. There's so many players coming up from the other divisions who can jump in your spot. So even in the big wins, you've still got to be performing. It ends up in the hands of Bishop. A good user, as we mentioned. He kicks it in front of White. It's a lovely pass from the coach.
Good lead.
Goes back, gives the thumbs up to, I don't know who it was that handballed it to him, but Alexander White, who's probably known more for his pace than he is his kicking skills, will go back and probably have to carry the ball about 45 metres. So the speedster, young man, had a pretty good second half of 2015. Right foot kick, drop punt. Oh, it's a lovely kick. I'll shut up. Great goal, Alexander White. Back-to-back goal for the Panthers, and they got a little bit of breathing space, Gary.
Yeah, look, that's not what Newcastle City wanted, but that is what Terrigal Avoca can do. If they get a bit of a run on, they can put goals on you quickly, and I think that is what the hallmark of a good side is.
GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the past 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. That's GE Industrial Solutions.
Yeah, certainly. They are the sponsors of our women's competition. With big weekend next weekend, women's round, all 3 games at number 1 Sports Ground will all be shown live on Bar TV. So Look forward to seeing all the women in action. They've certainly been a great acquisition or a great inclusion, really, to the Black Diamond Comedy. Bishop again.
Bishop just uses his pace. I can't believe I just said that beautifully. Goes over the back, in the back. Free kick to Terrigal. The fans are up and about. And you mentioned it, Gary. What an important period this is late in the first half. And it's been all the Panthers in the last 5 minutes. It was a goal to Jason Van Dam, and then it was a goal to this man, Xander White. He's going to line up for his second within 3 minutes.
Yeah, Chris Bishop dominating out of the middle at the moment, isn't he? That's 2 pinpoint. Well, that wasn't
if
so
he
much
wins
a
a Subway
pinpoint.
voucher.
Oh, you'll probably give it to the commentators. As White comes in, right boot, strikes the ball. Has he got back-to-back? He does. He likes it. Back-to-back goals to the youngster. And that's 4 goals on the trot now. I think it is for 4 goals on the trot there for Terrigal Avoca.
Yeah, so White, Van Dam, Jackson. No, 3. Is it? No,
We've
sorry,
got White
2 there.
on there
2
again.
for White, yep.
And the margin, 25 points. So, it certainly hasn't been a 25-point half in relation to the way the game's played. But as we mentioned, they can just put the score on you very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good game of footy, this one. You just feel like if Terrigal Avoca go in 4 goals up at half-time, they've gone a long way to winning it. 3 goals.
In 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes, yeah, exactly. You know, they're hard, very hard to rope back in with this side they've got in. Great punch from Ellis down to Kirkman. Champagne footy. Didn't dispose of it correctly. Webster to Harper. They couldn't take clean possession. Bishop's on the bottom of the pat. Outlet to Pete Van Dam. Kicked it into his mate's head in Van Dam. Was Jay Lewis. Barty. Little underground handball went for Lewis. Jay Lewis has had a great first half. It's good play, though, out here by Crawford. And that'll be half-time. So, terrific first half of footy here. Terrigal Avoca leading 7-7-49. Newcastle City 3-6-24. The goal kickers, Gary.
Yeah, for Terrigal Avoca, 2 goals to Alexander White, singles to Pete Van Dam, Aidan Warren, Jacob Jackson, Jace Van Dam and Chris Bishop. And for Newcastle City, 2 goals to Courtney Knight and a single to Jackson Crawford. So there's a bit to do here at the moment.
A bit going on at half-time.
Yeah, so
Rawnsley and Jay Lewis.
Yeah, so... But I think there's a little bit going on in that, and that's the intensity. To say there's nothing in this game, doesn't mean anything. You tell the players that, and Terrigal Avoca certainly on top at the moment, and they're up and about. I was going to say that the last few minutes, they're up and about now, Terrigal Avoca. So I reckon if that should get Newcastle City fired up a bit. So I think we're in for a really good second half, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Great game of footy here from Baddo Bay. We'll see you for the second half shortly.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service. Command, this is car 33, I'm going on my break.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Welcome back to Baddo Bay Oval here. It's round 13, Black Diamond Cup action between the Terrigal Avoca Panthers and the Newcastle City Blues. It's a great game of footy we've got here. Terrigal Avoca with the better second quarter there with 3 late goals. Looking at the goal kickers specifically with Terrigal Avoca, it's multiples to Alexander White. He has 2. Bishop has 1, as does Jason Van Dam, Jacob Jackson, Aidan Warren and Peter Van Dam. Newcastle City, the only multiple goal kicker, Courtney Knight, he has 2. Jackson Crawford with the 1 goal for them. So really great opening half, Gary Birkinshaw.
Yes.
Lots to look forward to in the second.
Certainly have. Ryan, just quickly around the ground, we've got an early start today, so the other Black Diamond Cup game is only just getting underway. So in First Division, Terrigal Avoca 7-8-50, drew with Newcastle City 8-2-50. We had Cardiff 16-12, 108 defeat Lake Macquarie 0-5-5. As we're about to go away, we'll get onto those a bit later on.
So it'll be Ellis up against Wheeler, the way the day started. Really good game of footy, this one. Ellis just marginally wins that contest. Goes in there again, but it's well done down there to Wilmot, who just got the clearing kick. Jason Van Dam playing in front there at Gillingham. He played on, did he, Jason? Probably a good decision there from the umpire. It was in between steps. Some umpires probably would have paid that. So Van Dam takes the grab at centre-half back. Chips it out to Barty. He's a good kick of the footy. On this occasion, it drops just short in front of Richardson, and it'll be a boundary throw-in. So it was.
So Ryan, you went and saw the sides at half time.
I did. I listened to both. Listen to both addresses. Terrigal Avoca was all about the pressure, continuing the pressure, and actually playing the game at their tempo. Newcastle City, they were a little bit more specific about how they wanted to go forward and their actual structures. They thought they were going a little bit too horizontal, not using the corridor enough. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Van Dam, he gets a bumped away from the ball. There was O'Brien, but he goes back for a second grab. Emerson Monk was in there, but so was James Webster for Terrigal Avoca. He gets it out there quickly. Haswell picks it up. He gets a hurry kick, but only as far as Pete Van Dam. He gets it tackled by O'Malley. He does a bit of tunnel ball out through the back there. Haswell goes for the push in the back, but umpire Lockiehead wasn't going to fall for that. So very scrappy play on the centre wing. It's been a bit of a scrappy start to the second half after a very enterprising first half, Ron.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was tight on the scoreboard. It was late goals to Jason Van Dam and 2 to Alexander White, who kind of opened up a little bit of a buffer for Terrigal Avoca. So Newcastle City certainly with all the work in front of them, and they're outnumbered down here, the Blues. It'll be Van Dam again of the Jason variety to mop up across centre-half back and just spear a pass to his brother. So Peter doesn't go off his line, as Bishop instructed, holding onto the footy. That's not a great kick on that occasion. It was an inside-out torp in front of White. Bound to throw him once again.
Did happen to catch up with John O'Goulet at half-time, Ryan. He's spoken to him. Spoke to 2 key players. John O'Goulet, first of all. He said his hamstring was only minor. Maybe next week, the week after, but no need to rush. But probably more concerning, though, was Newcastle City ran to their big ruckman, Cameron Keys, who had a broken finger, and he's really disappointed. So he's likely going to be missed probably 4 up to 6 weeks. So wrong time of the year. So big loss. He's really disappointed. He's running water today. But they'll need Newcastle City will need him back in decent form. But Alexander White, speaking of form, he's finished the last quarter, kicked the last 2 goals of the second quarter, and he's now going to line up for his 3rd goal. Deep in the pocket, be a good kick from there.
So White, he's already kicked the 2 today. Looks up and about at half forward. Right foot, he might have missed that to the narrow side. No, he hasn't. He's kicked it straight through. So Alexander White kicks the first goal of the 3rd term. It's going to be difficult now for Newcastle City. Terrigal Avoca with the opening goal. He's now the leading goal kicker on the ground with 3.
Yeah. The Entertainment Ground Central Coast has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse racing. The Entertainment Grounds, the Central Coast. Proud supporters of the BDAFL.
So Newcastle City have Emerson Monk, Jackson Monk, Mark Wheeler and Mitch Knight. In the middle, it's Webster, Bishop, Ellis and Sam O'Brien. So some good players in there. Ellis just climbs up, though. Tapped it to the wrong player in Mitch Knight. Ball bounces at centre-half forward. Getting there first is Pat Gillingham. Handball back to Crawford, who's been pretty quiet today. Just throws that one on the right boot into the forward pocket. It was a half volley down there for Dempsey. Couldn't take it. Well done there to Josh Polglaze. Jason Van Dam's been busy. Couldn't take clean possession. Little handball out came from Monk. Webster needs to get the hands free. Does. Lewis, he dropped it in front of Crawford. Crawford picked it up. Went to ground. Crawford, is that in the back or is it holding the ball? Is it nothing? Ball up.
centre clearance, and one thing was really been noticed. We spoke about Cameron Keith's absence. Is Sam Ellis is just jumping out of the top of Mark Wheeler at the moment.
Come of age.
And they're just giving them you can't give that good a service to the Terrigal Avoca midfield. In particular, coach Chris Bishop is having a ball, just feasting on Sam Ellis's ruck work.
Yeah, for me, Bishop's been one of the better players on the ground. Thought Jay Lewis was sensational in the first half, mopped up everything, and Jason Van Dam as well, just starting to assert his authority. So Peter Van Dam doing the ruck work on that occasion. Barty will get there first for the Panthers. Beats a would-be tackler and gives it off to Josh Polglaze, and away they go again, the Panthers. 3-on-2 here in favour of the Newcastle City. Couldn't take the mark there was Gillingham. Is that a leg? Play on the call. Rawnsley was the one who handballed out to Haswell. He kicks it into centre half forward. Once again, it's all Panthers. Pete Van Dam bumped Gillingham out of it. Webster's going to get hit from behind there by Wilmot. Any prior opportunity? No. Ball up half forward flank for the Blues.
Interesting that last decision there where Pete Van Dam took the Newcastle City player. I believe the new law is that you can't actually do that. You can't stop them having a run for the ball. So
it was very early as well.
Oh, extremely early. So
ball up. So Peter Van Dam here up against Wheeler. Bishop again getting busy in the third term now. It was play on. It must have been touched there by Richardson. Webster gets there first. Has a lot of time. Handballs inboard to Bishop, and another great looping handball. Some classy players there. Well smothered though by Pat McMahon. Boundary throw in half forward line for Terrigal.
Yeah, looking good at the moment, Terrigal, aren't they? They're good players, are starting to get their hands on the ball. Lewis has been good. Van Dam's been good this quarter. Jace Van Dam. Bish has been sensational. And Jimmy Webster, if it wasn't for Jimmy Webster, we'd be raving about him. We set such a high standard for Jimmy that we probably mark him a little bit higher as well. Yeah. I'll mark him harder anyway.
So boundary throw in. Peter Van Dam doing the ruck work now for Terrigal. They both go to ground. Rawnsley's had a few touches. That one went back to Monk. They're in strife here though, Newcastle. They're going to overdo it. Will they get out? Jack Gillingham. Long handball over to Riley Lang. The pressure is immense. Baker couldn't take possession. It might go out of bounds this one. No, it won't. Corey Billings keeps it in. He's on his left side. Just kicks it to the hot spot. Haswell couldn't get a hand on it. Webster's there. Fumbles over the boundary line. Boundary throw in. Terrigal doing all the attacking.
Yeah, that was a pressure there. They tried to run it out by hand, and they were forcing him back, Terrigal Avoca. And unfortunately, I think against Terrigal on the school level in Newcastle City, I'm not sure they're going to be able to play it, keep it in the hands and run it out without paying a high cost.
So boundary throw in again. Deep forward for Terrigal. Sam Ellis just doing everything he wants in the ruck at the moment. Wilmot's down there, just backs his pace in front of the ruckman Ellis, but Ellis does well. Barty's clean, tried to take on a tackler there, might have been Harder-Carnan. Eventually got a handball out to Damon Smith. It goes over again, so a lot of stoppages as you'd expect. But Terrigal Avoca just looking a little bit more clean when they go forward.
Been very serviceable, Josh Barty. He's going to be a good acquisition for Terrigal Avoca once he learns their structures and that he provides good run out of defence, good ball user, as you mentioned earlier in the coverage. Over the back it goes there now. Pete Van Dam
took possession.
I think it went over the back of the ruck. I don't think it actually took it out of the ruck, but it goes there now. Pat Gillingham, he picks up, tackled immediately by Jay Lewis. We're going to have another ball up. It's been a bit of a stoppage fest so far in the first 7 minutes of the third quarter, with Terrigal Avoca currently leading by 31 points after even probably almost 2 quarters of the last 5 minutes of the second quarter. They kick four goals to really blow the game open there. Look out there, Gillingham, he wants to pick up, gets a handball quickly to Rawnsley. On his favoured left boot, he's going to go through centre wing. He kicks over centre half forward. Down there is Dempsey up against Josh Polglaze, and Josh Polglaze. They do play a bit from behind the Newcastle City forwards, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it intentionally or whether the Terrigal backs aren't letting them get in front of them, but Josh Polglaze, you wouldn't miss him in the green boots, the headband and the gloves.
Exactly. They just the Terrigal Avoca defenders, they just sit off 5 metres in front of them all the time, and back that's what's going to be. And they're relying on, they're saying to Newcastle, if you can kick it over our head, good luck to you. But also their closing speed when it goes back. So just once again, they just need to be mindful of that. The Newcastle City midfield, as Alistair Richardson takes the ball in the centre now. On the left boot he goes out the wingers. Ellis has got away from his opponent. He should be able to take that mark. Uncontested he does. Centre half forward. White makes a lead. He's kicked 3 goals. It's up in there. It's going to be too long for him as Baker there punches the ball away. Comes to ground. It's going to be taken by Mark Wheeler. Mark Wheeler looks out, looking for Crawford, but it's not going to get him. It's going to sit up okay, just inside the boundary line. Goes one way, goes the other. Tries to get Webster, who comes there and forces the pressure over the back. Harder-Carnan should get this, and he should be able to go. Should be able to have a bounce. He does. He goes the kick, goes in long. Go there. Dempsey's got the run of the ball. How's it going to sit? Sits on the point and runs through for a behind.
Just had to keep going there, Harder-Carnan. He had 30 metres of his own space. Could have had a bounce. Probably wanted to do the team things. Just kicked it to no one in particular. Yeah, and you're mentioning the backs. The Terrigal guys know each other so well. They just know where to run, know when to peel off and take each other's man.
Yeah.
And they do this pretty well as well. Is that you move it out of fullback?
He had to run though. He had to run hard again. Had to run again and wait till the lead came towards him because nothing came. So he just kicked it to the vacant spot as Jackson Monk. A kick on the outside of the left, but I think he's still troubled a little bit by his knee, on the right knee, which affects his kicking. And you heard in the rep game, it's Jack Grimman gets it on the right boot. He goes through half 40, leads out Richardson. It's just going to land just short of him. There's two experienced veterans there in Richardson and Rawnsley. Fight for the ball on the ground.
He's going to ping him? No.
No.
Ball up. Half forward for Terrigal. Such a well-balanced team. Plenty of guys go in and out each week, but the same results seem to stem. So Harper there doing the ruck work. Down to Webster for the half volley. Kirkman fumbled. Gave time for Geared to get in there. Webster threw it out. That's a throw.
Yep.
Play on. No. Webster again. Left-handed handball this time to Jay Lewis. He's been great. Lewis just beats a couple. Right foot kick now out in the right direction. It's a lovely pass. Couldn't take it. Well done, Baker. Reliable as ever. And away go Newcastle City through Dwyer.
Out there through Formby, back on the ground, limped off with a leg injury in the second quarter. Tackled by Baker there that time out there. They go, kicked it, coming, I think that might have been out by Bishop. Goes there.
Pretty awful kick, though, from Big Brendan. Gives the handball back inside. It was from Van Dam. Jay Lewis is a lovely kick of the footy. Dropped that one, Sam O'Brien. So a few skill errors of late. Got enough time, though, O'Brien. Kicks it wide. Out there's Grimmond. Out there's White, who's almost playing the key forward, Gary.
Yeah, he's the go-to man now. He's playing out of the square.
Yeah, exactly right. So ball up. Half-forward flank for the Panthers. Webster was slung. Barty down there. We spoke about the Elliot Davey earlier, Gary. Who are your top three picks looking good thus far?
Oh, look, Bishop's been good. Webster's been good. I think it'll probably come from one of the top clubs, I think.
Brendan Lewis as a back.
Yeah, Brendan Lewis has been very good also there. Daniel Lloyd's also had a good year. Tim Sheldon, I suppose, from Cardiff's done very well. Been hampered a little bit by ankle injury. Not sure they've won enough games to get the key votes. As Darling, speaking of Ellie Davey medal, there's a dual one there. He's taking a mark at the top of the goal square.
It was just such good play. The inside ball winners at Terrigal got it out to Jay Lewis. Lovely drop punt kick to the footy, and Angus Darling, the big man, he'll line up for his first.
Yes, you hit the scoreboard today, Angus. But I think this was he had a shot earlier on, but this is much easier. 15 metres out directly in front. Maybe not that much easier.
I can tell you right now, about 9:30 tonight, that kick will come back to haunt him. Sitting at Breakers. That's two he's missed today.
Speaking of Breakers, a fantastic supporter. Breakers Country Club of the Terrigal Avoca Panthers.
Absolutely.
As is the Premier Hotel for the Newcastle City Blues.
So they all go to the right here, the Blues. They're going to elect to go up the middle, and gee, has to be a good kick. Coming in late was Darling. Webster's on his left side, gives the handball out to Jackson. They go one further to Lewis, who loves a goal. Won't on this occasion, just chips it up into no one in particular. McMahon couldn't take the one-hander. Aidan Warren's down there, trying to break tackles. Eventually got a handball away into the goal square. Down there is Billings, went for the soccer. Goalkeeper, Riley Lang, I've called him that before, and he did it literally on that occasion. Now it's Mitch Knight, trying to work it out here, Newcastle, but they've had big dramas in the third term, getting it past this stage. Ends up in the hands of the coach again. Slinging tackle, just got the left foot kick away. McMahon, the pressure's immense. Still can't get it out. Tackle coming in there from Peter Van Dam. Was it in the back? It wasn't. Ball up.
Yeah, they just are really struggling, aren't they, to get it out, get the clean possession in the back half of the ground, and just that they've just really lifted the intensity, Terrigal Avoca, and especially through their forward, and really every time they're getting inside forward 50, they're really pressuring and trying to get that shot on goal. As Barty now gets over to Billings on the left boot, it goes. Lewis should run onto this one. Lang leads out. Good work by Riley Lang.
So Riley Lang through full back now, just kicks it up in the air. It's going to land in the centre. Read it well was Gillingham. Van Dam won't let him go. Gets the handball back to Monk. Was it taken high? It wasn't. Harper's down there, foraging on the ground. Laying a bunk was Kirkman. It's a good tackle from Gillingham. Another stoppage, Gary.
Yeah, another one there. They just can't get clean possessions at the moment, Newcastle City. And the best they're doing at the moment is getting a stoppage and preventing Terrigal Avoca from getting their outside runners. Harper uncontested, taps it down there to Van Dam. Up there taken by O'Malley that time. He gets it out to Knight in a strange fashion, but Knight now on the boot. Goes back to Courtney Knight. They jumps early. Was able to take possession. Now he can't. He's under pressure from Hart. Also from Van Dam. Jace Van Dam gets it out there. They got the numbers. Terrigal Avoca, but although well done by Jackson Crawford, he takes it immediately. Tackled by Hart.
Yeah, it's just good play. Like Newcastle, for all money, look like they were just going to gather the loose ball, but the diving tackle in there from Jimmy Hart. That's why he's so well loved within Terrigal, because he doesn't stop. Very rarely gets beaten. This is Mitch Knight trying to break a tackle. Players are throwing their bodies in. Eventually ends up in the hands of Mitchell, but Barty chops that one off. So Barty on his right side. Probably wanted the boundary line. He looks like he'll get it. Boundary throw in centre wing.
Yeah, so they scored this quarter. Newcastle City, one behind. One behind, 3 goals, just the one behind. So really struggling to have any forward penetration at all. Winning their fair share of ball around this middle, but it's all scrappy ball at the moment. They're not being able to get that run and good passage of play they had earlier. As Wilmot's going to get the ball there first. He's been a classy player. Back it comes to Baker. Baker had a good first half, but then he moved on to White, and I think White definitely had the better of him since then. It's great work there by Liam Dwyer on the left boot kick. Goes in there toward to Gillingham. Gillingham picks up, goes onto his left, looks for a handball back. The runners aren't there, so he has to go back there. This time to Dempsey. Dempsey does a 360 circle, but then good work. He finds Harder-Carnham. Where's the next option though? Terrigal Avoca got numbers back. He's going to go in the Courtney Knight direction, but Barty drops in. Good, courageous play, Josh Barty. He stood in front there, took the contact. Crawford gets a kick away, but Polglaze intercepts it away. Go Terrigal Avoca again through Richardson into Lewis, and Lewis marks at halfback.
Yeah, just terrific play there. Despite the lead they've got, he jumped back in the hole. Everyone's playing for a position. Jay Lewis went out for Grimmel. Was it over to the shoulder? It was. So Jack Grimmel will take the free kick here on centre wing for the Panthers. All one-way traffic at the moment here at Baddo Bay. Alistair Richardson, best on ground last week, hasn't in the middle of the ground. He's got Sam Ellis out on his own. Will it reach him? It doesn't. Well done there to O'Malley. He just dropped back as well. Affected the spoil. Ends up in the hands of Darling. Back to Sam O'Brien. O'Brien looks at the goals, just throws it on the right boot. It goes out to the right. Out of bounds on the full.
Yes, Sam O'Brien just missing it to the right. Sports Coast Trophies and Embroidery are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. They're also proud supporters of the Black Diamond AFL.
Newcastle City as well. They've kicked 3-7 today. It's probably an indication of where Terrigal are making them go with their kicks.
Yeah, because you wouldn't think you can't really remember of any just sodas that they've actually missed. It's been some difficult angles out wide, out from having to have shots from a long way out from goalers. Over the back it comes there now. Josh Polgate has been very good this quarter as well. As you said, stands out in the boots, the headband, the glove. Michael Jackson,
not to mention his personality as well. Stands out from most.
He does.
So Peter Van Dam, he's going to go for Webster, and it's a good lead and a good leap there by Webster. So he's got it on the half-forward flank. The midfielders of Terrigal Avoca now starting to get on top. That looks like a pretty good pass going for Kirkman. It's well chopped off, though, Pat McMahon. He's another guy that's had a good year. Every Bar TV game we've covered, he's seemed to have his fair share of possessions.
A young player. Not a poor kick there, though. Monk put one hand up. That wasn't good enough in that situation as Billings gets it. He goes in hard. And like I said, they're 7 goals up, but they're just going in. So still like the score is level there as O'Malley goes in hard as well. Goes back, Jack Grimmel throws it on the boot there. He's going to sit up nicely, though, and running through that and taking the mark.
Kirkman.
I mean, it's Kirkman.
Doing a defensive job today. It was mentioned at half-time. Unselfish, put his game away and just for the defensive purposes of Terrigal's results. So
is that on someone in particular, Ryan, or just in general?
It's a good question. I'm not actually sure.
Does he pass it off there to Sarich?
So Sarich deep in the forward pocket, questioning whether that's a better angle. Bishop
Although if Alexander White, based on where, and Alistair Richardson, they've kicked goals from out there in this quarter, so maybe we're misreading. Maybe there's a pocket to come in from.
So Bunja Sarich, right foot drop punt, kick of the footy. Is he kicked it? They'll love that, Terrigal. They get around him, the backman. Coming up from our first division last week, kicks a goal, Brendan Sarich.
Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of service to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson. Good goal there by Sarich. That's 2-4-6. That's 8 individual goal kickers out of 10 goals. The only multiple goal scorer is Alexander White, and they've got Goulet's out, and all of a sudden they can find a multiple of goal kickers. As up it comes there now. Back at Emerson Monk takes it immediately tackled by Bishop. Bishop gets a hurry kick out there. Comes out the wing. Jackson Monk should pick it up. Handball the back. It comes to Mark Wheeler. On the right boot goes. Touched there by Sam O'Brien. Harder-Carnham's going to lead the race for Newcastle City. Brushes the tackle there of Damon Smith. He goes back for a second time. But Mitchell now is going to get the run of it for Newcastle City. Bumps Jay Lewis off the ball. Back it comes there. Gillingham. Left foot kick there from, I think that was Mitch Crawford. And he finds his brother Jackson Crawford.
It's quicker play then. That's it. Really the only way they're scoring goals at the moment, Newcastle City, by play on footy.
And Jackson Crawford kicked one goal. In fact, he kicked their first goal. He's going to come in and kick his second goal and the fourth goal for Newcastle City. You could say it's very badly needed.
Absolutely. So Crawford pretty much directly in front. Goes back. He struck it pretty well. Has it gone through? It has. They're up and about the City boys. They still believe. The first goal since halfway through the second term, Gary.
Yeah, you're right there. And the enthusiasm was up. And look, they're well down, but that's what they need to do. These Newcastle City are going to be there come final time. They're going to play Terrigal Avoca in the second semi-final. So they need to be still getting something out of this game. 37 points. It's probably difficult to see them coming back from that margin, but they need to be able to enter. Like they play again in the last round of the year, so they need to be able to be getting better every time they play them.
Absolutely. So back in the middle, Ellis up against Wheeler. They force a draw on that occasion. Bishop lays a tackle. Gillingham going back a little bit there. This is the kick that's hurt them. So they switch play. It's O'Brien up against Crawford. No one taking the grab. Crawford gets there first. Little chip over the top to Hardikan, and he's actually played this ring pretty well. Crawford now just backs himself with pace. Nice looking drop punt kick. He goes for Knight, but Jimmy Hart, the Terrigal faithful, love that one.
Yeah, that's really, really good play. It was good play there by Newcastle City as well. That's more like it, but that was great defensive play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad kick. It was probably kicked to Knight's advantage. But
once again, it was a lead to the pocket.
Yep.
And a champion player, but that's where they're being forced to go to, I guess. Now, Wheeler took it out of the ruck, put it on the left boot, back-to-back goals for Newcastle. They're up and about, Gary.
Yeah, look, that was good play. Just took that out there. A bit of loose ruck work there from Terrigal Avoca, allowed Wheeler, and ever the opportunist, Mark Wheeler. He's had a tough day in the ruck, being undersized, but that time then he took that opportunity, threw it on the left boot, and back-to-back goals for Newcastle City, which is very encouraging for them.
Absolutely. So still a bit of life in this game yet. They're going with Monk. That's Emerson, Monk, Knight, Wheeler, and Mitchell as well. So a couple of defensive mids in there. That's going to be a free kick, though. It's going to go to the Newcastle City, so that'll upset Coach Bishop. It'll be the Ruckman Wheeler. I'm not sure what that was for, Gary.
I might think another one inside the square infringement.
So three-quarter time here at Baddo Bay Oval, and it's Terrigal Avoca leading 10-8-68. Late goals from Newcastle City has them trailing 5-7-37. Goal kickers, Gary.
Goal kickers for Terrigal Avoca, Alexander White, the multiple goal kicker with 3. Singles to Pete Van Dam, Brandon Sarich, Aidan Warren, Jacob Jackson, Jason Van Dam, Alistair Richardson, Chris Bishop. For Newcastle City, 2 goals to Courtney Knight, 2 goals to Jackson Crawford, and a single to Mark Wheeler.
Maybe just in touch here, Newcastle City. They've got a big job ahead of them. Three-quarter time from Baddo Bay. We'll be back with the final quarter shortly.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Welcome back. Final quarter action from Baddo Bay. It's the Panthers with a 68-37 lead over Newcastle City. Geelong leading GWS, was that, guys?
Yep, 35-9.
Oof. I think I might have tipped him, actually.
Similar result with the Mighty Tigers tonight, mate. But final quarter underway. Couple more scores. First Division, Cardiff 16-12, 108. Lake Macquarie 0-5-5. Singleton 7-8-50 defeated Warners Bay 5-10-40. And in second division, Terrigal Avoca 6-3-39 went down to Newcastle City 6-5-41. Cardiff 12-7-79. Muswellbrook 7-7-49. And a quarter time in the other Black Diamond Cup game starting later than this one. It's Cardiff 3-1-19 leading Warners Bay 2-5-17.
It's interesting, Newcastle City, they set up with Emerson Monk tagging Webster. And I suppose Monk and Bishop, are both
going
attacking.
head-to-head.
Yeah.
They'll be going head-to-head.
And then you've got Knight and O'Brien. So
They'll be going head-to-head also.
Yeah, so initially I thought it might have been a tag job on Bishop, but certainly not.
Ellis just once again just jumping all over the top of Mark Wheeler there. Mark Wheeler's doing a reasonable job around the ground, but like I said, they're absolutely getting hammered in the ruck.
And then you look at centre half forward. They've got Angus Starling, Premiership ruckman, and look at that once again.
Over the top there. As Richardson leads out there as it comes back there now to Jack Gillingham. Handball across the wheel. As you said, doing well around the ground. Back to Jackson Crawford. 2 goals he's kicked for the game. A right boot he goes down there. Pat Gillingham against Van Dam. Too strong. Good use of the body, and he takes the mark.
And experience. So Jason Van Dam, he'll go down the line here with the left boot. Looking for Angus Starling. Works his opponent under the ball. No mark taken there by Richardson. Down there is Baker and also McMahon, who threw it out to no one in particular. Ends up in the hands of Monk. Little dinky handball over the top went for Crawford, who's quick. So Crawford delivers into full forward. Polglaze up against Dempsey. And it's a good grab there by Dempsey. He's got Knight up against Hart, one out in the goal square. Knight leads hard. They kick it for him now. Misses to the near side. So just a nothing kick, really.
Yeah, no, he missed him. Courtney Knight had 2 metres on James Hart. And I don't know whether Nick wasn't aware of that, but that was the option.
So Jay Lewis now going for Bishop. He's used the ball beautifully today, Lewis. Hardly missed a kick, as is this man Lewis. So he chips over the... Bishop, I should say, chips over the top. Getting there first will be Crawford. He was on the other side of the ground a minute ago. Handball's over the line. That'll be a boundary throw in. Centre wing in front of our broadcast position.
So what are you expecting from Newcastle City this last quarter, Ryan? If you're coach Mitchell Knight, what would you be expecting from your Chargers?
Well, there's only half a dozen sides in the league. They'll meet each other again in a couple of weeks. And if they fall away... Terrigal will remember that, don't worry. So they would certainly want to finish off the game. Bishop takes that one out of the ruck. Now on his right side, he's just had a great day out today, Coach Bishop. Getting there first will be Darling. He'll go for Bishop again. Bishop, it's well done down there, though, by Monk, who's got the defensive job today. And there's Mitchell Knight. Just kept the ball in front of himself. It'll be another boundary throw in, Gary. We've played 2 minutes. It's 10-8-68 Terrigal Avoca. They've just kicked the 5 goals. We know Terrigal Avoca only allow about 4 or 5 goals a game.
Yeah,
looking like it again today.
And that's it. Their just defence is so good, and just the pressure they're able to apply. The midfielders work so hard. There's no laziness through the Terrigal Avoca midfield. You're in the midfield. You've got a defensive workload, and you're expected to fulfil that responsibility as Bishop.
Webster's heard a voice. Went for Bishop out in the White direction. He's had a pretty good day. White. He's playing on Carroll out there. So White up against Carroll. Carroll.
2 youngsters there.
Yeah.
Good to see a couple of both sides are playing a number of young players today as well, which is pretty encouraging as well. And
you're certainly thinking the best 22 for Terrigal. You've got Flint to come back in, Corbin Bond definitely, and obviously John O'Gourlay, the leading goal kicker for the league. They're missing Aaron Seen, Sam Payne, and Hugh Kelleher. Gary, who you probably also Dawes.
Dawes also Cameron Keast. They got a few. Josh Wheeler, obviously. Yeah. He'll add that a bit of starch to them. Just going to the list right now we got. So James Polglaze will obviously come back in for Terrigal Avoca around finals time. So that'll give them a bit there. As Bishop on the left boot, he snaps it around. How's it coming around? No, just misses.
Would have loved a goal then, Bishop.
Just misses to the short side. But from a Newcastle City, just going to list. Wheeler's not playing. He'll come back in. Sam Payne's not playing. Aaron Sean, they're certainly missing their drive through the middle. Cameron Keast is not playing. Jacob Dawes is not playing. Sam Edwards is also out. So they've got some quality players that can come back in and strengthen their midfield. But are they going to be players who are going to I suppose, improve their goal kicking output? Do you believe that they're a bit Courtney Knight, I suppose, reliant up forward?
Well, you look at the Terrigal side, and Bishop and Webster, Kurt Fleming is another one as well.
Fleming's not out playing.
They kick goals, and the Newcastle City Blues don't kick as many, basically. So
I think that's where Newcastle see. I reckon if they've got to defeat that, and even Clarneyvale, if Clarneyvale are going to get over the top of Terrigal Avoca, you need to be able to find a way of kicking 13, 14 goals.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're going to be able to restrict Terrigal Avoca to 10 goals with the amount of the scoring options that they do have.
And you look at when they did win the flag, Newcastle over Terrigal, it was Courtney Knight kicking 8 goals. You can't probably see Lloyd. Lloyd's going to be the one for Killarney Vale.
Because Mitch Knight has a Mitch Crawford, snap at goal there.
Daniel Lloyd's never really, had a substantial game against Terrigal. I mean that in goal scoring sense.
I really think that for a Killarney Vale to beat that Terrigal Avoca, I think they're going to need a Rick White or someone like that to come out and kick 6 goals. I really think, as good as Rick White is around the ground, I believe up forward, I don't think he's going to hurt Terrigal Avoca around the ground.
Yep.
And you need to be able to find the goals. And that's what Newcastle City need to find here. They need to be able to find the goals.
So Grimman goes for Jackson. Good work here out of the back line, just chipping it around the Panthers. Goes now for the middle, and it'll be Richardson. No mark there. Hayden Warren crumbed it really well. So now he kicks down towards full forward. It's White, also Angus Darling, but coming across the strong hands of Jack Gillingham. So Gillingham at fullback here for the Blues. The result probably out of reach for them now in terms of a win.
But you look at Terrigal Avoca forward line. If you on paper, you would look and say, well, gee, that's arguably a weakness for Terrigal Avoca. From last year's grand final side, there's no Tom Head, no Mitch Betson, no James Polglaze, and no John O'Goulet, which is effectively their whole forward line. And they've had no big-name recruits come in and fill that gap. So the youngsters, players new to the game. But with their ability to be able to find goals through the midfield and use, we've kicked 10 goals and we've had 8 goal kickers, it takes that reliance off the one player.
Yeah, exactly right. Strong grab there taken by Harper. It was a free kick for high or a grab, take your pick. Took a really strong mark. No, but you're exactly right. When you hear those names, between them they probably kicked 15 goals in the grand final last year.
Yeah, they did. And that's why I believe that the Keaston doors are very important for them to get back for Newcastle City, because Mitch Knight's got them penciled into one of those two to play as their centre half forward and be able to use their target up there forward to be able to, if they don't take the mark kick goal, be able to generate that second phase football.
So middle of the ground again. O'Malley's on the bottom of that pack for the Blues. Still no easy kicks, and we're 6.5 minutes into the final term. Courtney Knight's up the ground, got a pretty bad bounce on that occasion. Damon Smith just paddles it in front of himself. Barty down there. O'Brien, his kick was smothered. Eventually the kick came from a Newcastle City player, but it's Brendan Sarich to take the chest mark at centre half back. They go in board to Bishop, who's probably had 20 plus touches. He'll back his kick up the middle. Perfect pass there to Richardson. So the left-footed Richardson, they've got still Xander White playing the lone full forward role. He's playing on Baker. No one really even going for the mark on that occasion. It's a boundary throw in deep for Terrigal.
Yeah, very wide, that entry there for White. But, players like Alexander White, they're nowhere near guaranteed a spot to play in the final side. So when he's coming out, every time that he's playing for, to push his case forward to get a spot. Missed out last year after playing a lot of the year in the seniors. Missed out in the grand final last year. So, he knows every time he goes out there, and the inclusion of Angus Darling, just puts that extra pressure on him.
Absolutely. Monk keeps his feet beautifully. Gives it off to Emerson Monk.
McMahon, that one actually?
McMahon, yeah, spot on. So, boundary thrown again. A lot of stoppages today.
Yeah, the Sting's certainly out of the game now, isn't it?
Yeah, next week covering Cardiff, Newcastle City.
But don't forget tomorrow, Ryan. Sunday,
we'll
Black Diamond Cup football. A very rare occurrence, but we're at Adelaide Street Oval, Killarney Vale versus Nelson Bay. So we'll be live through Bar TV from 2 o'clock. So
it's a bonanza.
Should be a big game there. Nelson Bay need a win to really cement enhance their prospect of playing in the finals. Forward go Newcastle City. Knight that time plays the defender and forward punches the ball away from Hart. He then taps it out there, but they've got numbers, and Hart again, dispossessed there. Crawford's going to pick it up. It's out of bounds. Goal umpire signal that to be out of bounds. Yeah,
to please Chris Bishop to know that Courtney Knight, what does he kick to 2?
2 goals. He kicked 2 in the first quarter.
Yeah, to keep someone of that stature to only 2 goals is a terrific effort. They've only kicked 5 in total, Newcastle City. But it doesn't take much for Courtney Knight to change a game.
Yeah, certainly a highly talented and a great goal kicker. He can show it in that grand final. He kicked 5 first quarter goals to really take, virtually win the grand final. Won the McBain medal for best on ground.
Good tap there came from Jason Van Dam doing the ruck work in the back line. Barty took possession. Richardson, who's been the link-up man in this final term, gives it back to Barty, and that's a nice pass. Goes wide to Kirkman. Kirkman marks on centre wing. Goes for the chip pass to Darling. Puts it at his ankles, which is not where you want to be when you're that height. Just drops it there. Getting in there's Carroll for the Blues. Grimman goes back. Richardson. Kicks now into the forward line. Peter Van Dam's down there. Is he being held? Play on was the call. Harper goes in hard. Just trying to fist it and gain a little bit of territory for the Panthers. Ends up in the hands of Billings. Kicks the goal. Great handball out, Peter Van Dam. Corey Billings gets himself on the scoreboard sheet. And the Panthers continue on their winning way.
Yeah, good goal there by Corey Billings. That's that 9th individual goal kicker. So I have 11 goals. So Alexander White still remains as the only multiple goal kicker, and he's kicked 3.
So 75 playing 39. The score's certainly blown out. I didn't anticipate this kind of lead at this stage in the match, I must admit.
But in saying that, well, look at the scoreboard is 36 points. But you're watching the game without looking at the scoreboard. You wouldn't say it was a 36. They kicked 4 goals in a quick period there at the end of the second quarter, which blew the 24 point. Apart from that, the game from a scoreboard perspective has been pretty close. And even on the ground, it's just the scoring opportunities for Newcastle City have really dried up.
Yeah.
That's what Newcastle. They pressured Terrigal Avoca, but they've been able to get forward. They haven't blown them out in relation to scoreboard. They get the odd goal here and there. But 5 goals returned from Newcastle City after they kicked 2 in the first quarter. They kicked 1 in the second quarter, 2 in the third quarter, and haven't kicked any in the last quarter. So that's where the difference has been. But in general, play has been pretty even.
Just quick hands here from Bishop and Webster. Ends up in the hands of Jay Lewis, who's had a great game. Was hit pretty hard as he kicked it, fairly. Newcastle City might be out here. It's Macaulay O'Malley with the haircut. I've mentioned that already today. Good, strong grab there taken by Gillingham on the half-forward line for Newcastle City. So this is the important kick. He's double-teamed here, Courtney Knight, by James Hart and Jason Van Dam. Ends up in his hands, Knight. He anticipated a little bit of pressure, just blasted it away, and Corey Billings takes the grab on the last line of defence. So chips over the top.
That sums up Terrigal, though. Corey Billings kicked the last goal. He's on the midfield, and there he's also down deep in defence. Yeah. They're leading by 36 points. They're leading by 6 goals. And he's still working just as hard at the back end of the ground as he is to move forward.
Yeah.
And which is a credit for him, because I suppose his work rate, if you had to be critical of him last year, probably, or 2 years ago when he first came up, it was his work rate. So Chris Bishop worked really hard with him, and full credit to Corey Billings as well.
So 2-1 again here against Newcastle City. Van Dam up against Hart. Where are the loose players for the Blues? Eventually ends up in Emerson Monk's hands. Puts on a little left foot kick. That's a great little banana consolation goal here for the Blues to Emerson Monk. 6th of the day. They're 45 points in total. Terrigal Avoca 11-9-75.
Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. The Herald's reporting and commentary leads public debate in the region, and its coverage of local issues from business and politics through to sport and entertainment is second to none. The Newcastle Herald, the voice of the hunter, in print, online and mobile. Ryan, how would you judge Emerson Monk's game today? Tagging role on James Webster?
Oh, yeah, pretty strong. Look, in terms of the games, probably Webster's had 20-plus possessions in every game we've seen of late. Certainly, had an influence. I thought his first quarter was really good. Probably just fallen away a little bit as the game's gone away from Newcastle City. But I think Mitch Knight will probably make a mention of that he's been certainly a factor in Webster's game.
Yeah, I don't think he's curbed Webster all that much, to be perfectly honest. I think by playing Emerson Monk, I think they probably lost a bit from his run, from his outside run.
Who else would do it? Who could?
Well, is it necessary to do it? If Webster's going to pick up plenty of touches anyway. Fair enough. Yeah, he did a good job on McVeigh 2 weeks ago, Emerson Monk. But McVeigh and Webster are 2 completely different players at 2 completely different ends of their football careers.
Yeah.
So that would have worked, but I think are we robbing Peter to pay Paul? I suppose is right. Probably.
Yeah. You can only tag so many players. You have to win the game yourself as well at some stage.
Yeah.
And they've got Wilmot and Monk that do that.
Mm.
They've certainly made it a concerted effort, though, today to stop Bishop and Webster, which is what most teams have done, actually.
Yeah. But would you say, I would say that Webster and Bishop would probably be in the top half dozen players on the ground.
Yeah. Yep. So I know what you're saying. What's the point? If they're still going to be damaging, use Monk in an attacking sense.
Well, that's right, yo. Was Emerson Monk, is his role a hard tag? Like, you watched him today, all he seems to be doing is following Webster everywhere he goes, and we look there now, he's a metre behind, 2 metres behind. Nothing against Emerson Monk because we're late in the game, but I think Emerson Monk's ball-winning ability is also pretty good also.
Mm.
And he hasn't been able to, he hasn't had that influence today.
So boundary throw in, half-forward line here for the Panthers. Still the tackling pressure's strong even this late in the game. Terrigal will win this game today. It'll mean both clubs take 6 points away with them after a win to Newcastle City in second division. It was a draw in the first division and looks like a Terrigal Avoca win here. It's a good even contest across all 3 grades.
Yeah, but out of the 12 points, it'll be 8 points that'll go. It'll be 8 points to 4 in relation to the club championship, which just furthers the lead, and we'll probably nearly wrap up the club championship for Terrigal Avoca, who's been a standout side this year, standout club. They have been for the last couple of years. They won the club championship last year, and certainly leading that this year on an award that's club based on the number of wins that you have, how your on-field performance.
Yep, thoroughly deserved. So Mitch Light delivers to centre half forward as Gillingham.
I reckon Gillingham's been quite serviceable, a lot up the ground, hasn't hit the scoreboard, and I suppose from that perspective that Gillingham was very prominent goal kicker earlier in the year, and I suppose his goals have dried up as well.
Yep.
So from a Newcastle City perspective, they need to be able to find ways of getting goals into these players and getting more hitting the scoreboard.
So Gary, are you deciding the play of the day today?
Play of the day, I could probably decide the play of the day.
If you want to do that, I'm happy to do the
Subway
Morissette man of the match. It'll go to a Panther.
Just certainly in the last 10 minutes of this game, it's really the sting's certainly been taken out of it. That's for sure. Going through the motions at the moment pretty well much, and a lot of stoppages. The players are quite happy that this day is done and dusted.
Yeah, absolutely. So boundary throw-in again. We've had a few of those today. Deep forward for Newcastle City. Eventually ends up with Monk. With the tackling pressure there, that was Jack Rimmen that time. Was terrific. Trying to break tackles there was Monk once more. Took on a few and eventually dropped it. Most likely be another ball up about 40 metres in front of Newcastle City. Thanks a lot to Wilson Security, the major sponsor. They're Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
Updated score from number 1 sports ground at Cardiff, 8-4-52, leading Warners Bay 3-5-23 just before half time. So a dominant quarter that time by Cardiff, who certainly shown a bit of a late season form.
Yeah.
Winning their first game a couple of weeks ago. And certainly looking like they're going to back it up against Warners Bay. So as McGrath kicks in there, looking for Emerson Monk, should be a free kick there.
It is. Bishop just took his eyes off the footy at the wrong time.
Like a seasoned pro that Chris Bishop is, he was out of position, knew that Emerson Monk was probably going to take the mark, so he made sure that you're not going to take the mark. You're probably not getting a free kick, but you'll be earning it like the seasoned pro he is.
So Monk played a defensive role for most of today, pretty much all of today. Gives it off here to Lang, just running off Angus Darling. You could hear the groan. Won't register a goal, that kick. In fact, it won't register a score at all. Out on the full.
Interesting option.
So Grimond, half-back flank for the Panthers. Got Jimmy Hart on here, just running off Knight. Another great game today, Hart. Highly regarded in last week's win against Carter. So he goes to centre half forward at Angus Darling. Good battle this one up against Lang. Eventually ends up with McMahon and Macaulay O'Malley. So away go Newcastle City through the middle of the ground, but that kick won't reach its intended target. It'll be Gavin Kirkman floating in, taking the grab in the middle of the ground. Call to play on here. Gillingham comes through him, just doubles back. Now kick short to Jimmy Hart. Hart goes for Warren. Couldn't take a grab there. Sarich will get there first for the Panthers. Gillingham for the Blues. Another stoppage. So next week, Newcastle City, Cardiff. That'll be from number 1, Gary. And also tomorrow, Killarney Vale up against
Nelson
Bay.
Yeah, and then also next week's round is women's round. So we've got all the 3 women's games. We'll be doing all those games live from 10 o'clock in the morning, which will be fantastic. And then we'll be doing the Cardiff Newcastle City. It's a rescheduled round from washout early in the year. We'll also have game being played will be Terrigal Avoca versus Killarney Vale, the rescheduled Anzac Day game. So once again, Terrigal Avoca will be back up there, while Warners Bay and Nelson Bay, they'll both have the week off.
So nearly into time on here at Baddo Bay. McMahon doing the kicking and duties there for Newcastle. Dempsey now going down the line. Going for Haswell. Had a good leap at it. Couldn't take the grab. Did well with his second effort. High tackle there going the way of the Blues.
Go out there. I think there's Owen Geard on debut. Done a couple of handy things.
Yeah. Coming into the side late for Hugh Kelleher, who got rubbed out injured. Once again, they seem to be double teamed on every occasion, the Newcastle City forwards, and it's not always a backman, it's the midfielders dropping back, lending a helping hand or a fist on most occasions.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It is the work rate of getting back and 2-on-1. Very rarely in the forward 50 of the opposition is there a 1-on-1 contest. So,
that's a poor kick.
James
So Hart intercepts. He's got a paddock. He elects to kick straight away. He has a shot at goal, Jimmy Hart. Will it roll through? It does! Jimmy Hart, he'll love that one, and as will his teammates. Kicks a goal. Oh, he loves that one, Jimmy Hart. Look at the players go to him. Everyone has high-fived him on the whole team as he jogs back to Courtney Knight. Probably not a great feeling for Courtney. 81 now, playing 45 at Baddo Bay.
Not with his hands on his head down there, Courtney Knight. He would have been 150 metres away, but it was just a great play there by James Hart. Run there, intercepted it. Probably not the best disposal there. Set it up, and good on him though. Great finish.
He got himself a German feast late in the day.
Yeah, number 1. There's that goal kicker number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 10 goal kickers now, and with both Hart and Jason Van Dam both on the scoreboard.
So you wouldn't read about it, would you?
No. So
Jason Van Dam, he's quick to remind me that he was centre half forward for the first half of his career. Don't think that'll happen again.
I think the best half of his career has been when he's been centre half back. So
yeah, most definitely is. It's Baker. Goes for Haswell down there playing on Smith. Smith just taps it to no one really. Good run down there by Hart to Carnan. Goes back for Haswell, but Jason Van Dam going for the boundary line. Might have been out of the full there, was it, from Crawford? It wasn't. It'll be boundary throw-in. 1 p.m. game today. I must admit, Gary, I'm a big fan of it, the early start.
You like it, mate? Even though you had to play at 9 o'clock, that was okay?
Yeah, don't mind it at all.
You don't mind the 9
Bit
o'clock?
of frost on the ground at that stage, but...
Well, they call them the dew kickers, don't they, mate? And you certainly would have been there, but it was a beautiful day today, though. You've got to admit, we've had 21 degrees today. It's been fantastic weather conditions for football, and, yeah, what better, great ground. We've got another game coming up after this one. Actually, not on Bar TV, but second division game between the Entrance Baddo Bay, and they'll be taking on the Maitland Saints.
Okay, so free kick here out on that far wing. It's holding the ball decision. It'll go the way of the Panthers. And it'll be Big Angus Darling to take the kick. He's just going to chip it back to Jason Van Dam. So just winding down the clock now. We're into time on in the final quarter. Trying to... bite off a bit too much there was Van Dam. Ends up in the hands of Rawnsley. Little chip over the top. Barty here up against Knight, and Barty just leads him to the footy.
Just a quick one. That was James Hart's second goal for the year.
Second,
He managed to kick one in the mud at Fee and Oval. He got one of that. I think they only kicked about 4 for the day, but he kicked 2. He only kicked 1 goal last year. He kicked 2 goals in 2013 and 1 goal in 2012. So he's equal. He kicked 4 goals in under 18. So in his senior career, he's actually equalled his yearly best. Today with kicking his second goal for the year. So well done to James.
Can you see how many games he's played there?
How many games? Yep. He's played. Well, we go for senior football. He's played a total of 81 games.
Okay, so next year
8 goals. So
he stopped a few.
Oh, he stopped plenty. Don't worry about that.
It's Knight here. It was a down-the-ground free kick. There was a bit going on in the middle of the ground there. So Knight ends up with the footy. He has a shot at goal. Misses that one to the near side. So
Would have liked to have kicked that. Would have given him 3, and with Hart kicking one down the other end, it would have been...
yeah. Jay Lewis has been good. Just chips up to his mate in Webster, who you mentioned, Gary. Shook his tag, I think is probably the way to describe it.
I think he's won that contest. I think hands down. I reckon he's won it hands down, to be perfect. Remembering also with Jimmy Webster, he missed those probably three shots at goal in the second quarter. He could quite easily have 3 goals on.
Yeah.
When then you'd be looking at his game completely different.
Yeah, spot on. I'm probably a bit of a harsh judge as well.
Well, just because you don't believe that he's the best brother in his own family. That's the best player in his own family, isn't he?
I know he's not.
That's right, yeah. Because I just look here and, like, at the end of the day, you only look at the stats, and there's no goals against James Webster, but I believe there was one against Ryan Webster.
Yeah, pivotal part of the match as well.
I heard that. Yep.
No good.
Of the losing side of that. But Alexander White, we're just rambling at the moment as the final siren sounds. And it's Terrigal Avoca, 12-9-81. They've defeated Newcastle City 6-10-46 to continue their unbeaten start. Can they go through the whole season undefeated? Who knows? That's the next 6 or 7 weeks will determine that.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they're beating Newcastle City by, 6 goals, who's going to beat them? Another sensational clinical performance, not full strength. They blew Newcastle City away after half-time and for also parts of the second term as well. Terrific win to them today. They just march on their merry way. They'll finish the season on top of the ladder. Looking at some of the better players, firstly for Newcastle City, I guess Wilmot Rawnsley tried hard. Emerson Monk started the game okay on Webster, but Webster certainly winning the battle there as the day went on. Ian Baker across half-back, going down the list here. Riley Lang played a role down on Alexander White. Alexander White kicked a few, though, for himself as well. Mark Wheeler in the ruck tried hard, as did Pat Gillingham, I guess, as well. But looking at the victorious Terrigal Avoca side, James Webster would have had his 20-plus possessions again. Brendan Harper rucked pretty well. Jay Lewis, I thought, in the first half was the best player on the ground. Just repelled everything, took a handful of grabs. Jimmy Hart was sensational on Courtney Knight. Sam Ellis was one of the best players on the ground in the ruck. Jason Van Dam as well. But for the $20 Subway Man of the Match voucher, it's a little bit ironic as he actually owns the Subway business. It's going to go to the coach, the wily old veteran, Chris Bishop, Gary.
Yeah, look, a fantastic player, Chris Bishop. He certainly led from the front. The clearances there, the stoppage when the game had to be won. He was the one who blew the game over. He hit Alexander White with 2 fantastic passes where he converted. But just to go through the goal kickers, Ryan, for Terrigal Avoca, they're 12 goals. 3 goals to Alexander White, singles to Pete Van Dam, Corey Billins, James Hart, Brandon Sarich, Aidan Warren, Jacob Jackson, Jason Van Dam, Alistair Richardson and Chris Bishop. While for Newcastle City, they're 6 goals. 2 to Courtney Knight, 2 to Jackson Crawford, singles to Emerson Monk and Mark Wheeler. And we've also got the Dus Hoss Hound.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's all right, wasn't it, eh? Voucher for the player of the day. And I don't think we can go past, I think, James Hart.
Yeah.
Not only for his goal, I think he did his defensive play. He did plenty of good spoils back there also and worked hard. But then to finish it off with the goal towards the end, after running from one end of the ground to the other, got the ball and kicked the goal. So it's James Hart from Terrigal Avoca who will get the Dus Hoss Hound restaurant voucher from the restaurant in Newcastle.
Fantastic, Gary. So, clinical victory here from Terrigal Avoca. They look red-hot favourites to take out the 2015 Premiership. Who's going to stand in their way? 12-9-81. They beat Newcastle City 6-10-46 today. Gary, tomorrow you'll be back with more Bar TV action.
Yep, Bar TV from Adelaide Street Oval, Killarney Vale versus Nelson Bay. Really looking forward to it. So, from 1:50 p.m, make sure you join myself and the Bar TV crew. And once again, we'd like to thank the Bar TV crew. Did a fantastic job. They're the best in the business. But here at the Baddo Bay Sporting Facility, it's Terrigal Avoca, 12-9-81, have defeated Newcastle City, 6-10-46. So on behalf of Ryan Webster, I'm Gary Birkinshaw, and goodbye for now.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is car 33, I'm going on my break.
We have a visual.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.